Hello, I have taken over George Senda's apartment. You will be listening to me for the next 2 hours. Do not leave or you will be disintegrated. That is all. Goodbye. Well, I thwarted him. This is George Senda, the guy from Pittsburgh, and I'm live in the special Close Encounters of the Galaxy Pop's Head edition. And there he is, the Galaxy Pop's Head. And I can find absolutely no information about this, with the exception that the company that made this, or sold it as 100 lollipops on top of it, was bought up by a Swedish company, and the company in Ireland was given an award in 2008 for best company in Dublin or something. So I've written him an email asking for the history of this, but this may be the only one in the world. So I saw this on eBay and I had to jump on it. Anyway, let me get the chat going, if I can, and if this thing is showing up. So, and you'll bear with me, I still cannot see small print worth a damn, and it's really ticking me off. And I keep running over all my magazines. Bear with me for 1 minute. Tonight I will put these in a box. I'm still sore from cleaning my icebox last night. So now you can look. You can see one, and I can't see him very well. Two. Yeah, that's not working. Hold on. What am I doing here? Doing something wrong. There he is. 3 alien heads. And when I get the other one repaired, it will have 4 alien heads. I'll have a quinella. So, now let me try to work on this so I can get the screen up. Because I've been live for 2 minutes and 45 seconds, but it's not showing up on my screen, which is odd. So I don't know why. And when you can't see a damn thing, it's really tough to know why. So I just took a shot. See, there's a difference in light. Maybe YouTube can't see me. I don't know. All right, let's see. I am live. And, oh, it says it's loading, which is also strange. So, oh, the chat is there. Let me see. And it's still loading. Don't ask me why. I don't understand this. Oh, there we go. Hold on. 4 people are watching. Hello, Murdoch. Hello, Zoa. Thank you. I think you're the lady that sent Justin the Mayan Cat Kate. I want for my kitties. Now, I got this book today, Steve Jobs. I can see the cover. I can see the back cover. I can read larger print if it's large enough. But if I try to read, I haven't read this before. If I try to read the print on this page, I can't see it. The only way I can read right now, and the doctor told me I have to get reading glasses, is to shine a light on the page. Jobs started to cry. This chokes me up. This really chokes me up. It was so clear that Lee loved Apple so much. But am I going to have to do this the rest of my life? Now, she says, in time, my eyes will adjust. Well, I forgot to go out and wear my sunglasses today. So I was getting little gold squares appearing in the center of my eye, my left eye. The right eye is not a problem. It's healed. So I don't know what's going to happen. I had thought when they did this surgery, they did the cataract, they put lenses in my glasses would be gone. I'd be able to see like anybody else, you know, without aid. And then the doctor says, well, you tell the DMV you can drive without corrective lenses. I go to myself, how the hell am I supposed to drive? I can't even see the cars. They're blurred. So I haven't heard from Justin yet. I don't know what he's doing. He gets real busy this time of year because it's Passover coming up. And he works in a store. They do hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Passover and matzah and all kinds of gefilte fish and all kinds of stuff. Chocolate macarons. He sent me some. And the yummy, I don't know if they're kosher, but I don't care. Chocolate-covered matzahs and egg matzahs and, unfortunately, onion matzahs. And there's nothing better than, if you're Jewish, than chopped chicken liver on a matzah or rye bread. So now he only goes down to Guatemala a couple of times a year, but I know he will go and put it on MindCat and do a video and send it to me. So there's your head. Let me turn the light off and get my head out of the way. I got this today. This was made by a company in Ireland. And on the top, if you haven't seen the video, on the top is his brain. Brain. And there were 100 of these in each head. Now this is like the alien pops. These were galaxy pops. And I don't have any of the pops, and I can't find any of the pops. And I saw this on eBay, and it cost me, I don't know, $30 or $40, but I had to have it. So, went to bed last night and slept for 9 hours. Scrubbing out that ice box was very gratifying for me, but it wore me out. And by the way, if you haven't seen my new hat, this is my new hat. I'll put it over my face. It'll look weird, but it says Pittsburgh all the way around and Pittsburgh here. And it looks almost like a sailor's hat. And it's very big. But when it is, and it's funny, you know, because yesterday was very hot. And when I went out this afternoon, it was chilly. So he talked to military people today, but, you know, I haven't been doing much of anything. I woke up around 1 or 2 o'clock. My clock in my kitchen is off by an hour. Now I'm thinking that no, that wouldn't help. It wouldn't help till fall. It says 5. It says 6 o'clock and says 7. Oh, there goes my hair. So, by the way, this alien head, I had real trouble because it was detached, and it took me about 20 minutes with my powerful light to attach the battery thing so it would work. So, well, I don't know if he said that or not, but I agree with that. Jerry Brown does suck, but thank God we will have him out of office this year. But the problem is, of course, they break out another crate of cockroaches. By the way, this is Dawn. And I've tried Palmolive, Ajax, off-brand stuff from the dollar store. This is the stuff you use. If you want to get grease off your pots, pans, dishes, you use this stuff. It works. It got all that crud out of my icebox or refrigerator. By the way, for the record, and I put it in the description, my refrigerator is a Roper refrigerator, and I believe they also made ranges and stoves. I have no idea who Roper is. I think they come from back east. And Abram came over today and cut off the piece of metal that was cutting the hell out of my leg all the time, every time I got out of bed. So that was gratifying, and I did a video of him cutting the metal off, sparks flying everywhere. And I said, "This is going to set my place on fire?" He said, "No, but it was scary and noisy." I didn't have time to get any water, so you will excuse me. I've got a pillow behind my... Actually, I'm sitting on a damn pillow. Hold on. It's Fat Man Rising. There, that's better. That will help. I wish I had 2 soft pillows. And this chair leans back much too far. But that'll help my back. I took a hot shower. And so I'll put all these magazines away. And then I think tomorrow I will do the ice box. I did sweep the floor. Not completely last night, but I did that. So I'm making a little bit of progress, but my back is screaming. It's basically saying, what the hell did you do last night, and why did you do it? It didn't like that at all. So that's about all I've done. I haven't been able to read it. I read about my vision last night briefly came back to normal, where I could read the book. And my doctor says I need better lighting, which irritates me because I just switched everything except 2 lights in my place, actually 3, to LED, and they're 60-watt bulbs. So it means in order to read in bed, I'm going to have to get a 100-watt bulb. This is very frustrating. Now, if I get this under the light, I can read The Honeymoon. Scully arrived in California just in time for the May 1983 Apple Management Retreat at Pajaro Dunes. So I can read that. I cannot read a newspaper, though. So, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. By the way, one of the strangest things that came out today, and it's due out this month, and Kathy and I can't stand the character because he's overused, and Ash Ketchum uses it for everything. Pikachu, I choose you. Well, being a Sherlockian and having had friends in the Baker Street Irregulars and the Maloney Maguires, I like some of the things that have been done with Sherlock Holmes, but now they've got Pikachu Detective, where he plays Sherlock Holmes, and to add insult to injury, he's got a Bronx accent and he talks like that. So we have Pikachu as Sherlock Holmes, and I'm going, no. And he's solving, apparently, from what I saw, the pictures, he's solving Pokemon murders where they're lying there in a pool of blood. And I'm going, what were they thinking in Japan with this one? You have to go out and search for mysteries, and the police tell them at one point, this is police business, do not do amateur detecting. And he's got a kid going around with him acting as his Watson. And he's riding on the kid's shoulder. So I don't know what's going on with that. We play Pokemon a lot on our Nintendo 3DSs, but that's very bizarre. I told Kathy, and she kind of went, oh boy. So, all right, somebody say something, because I've been a little unable to do much of anything because I haven't been able to see. So please write something, and I would appreciate no mention of the evil site or the evil trolls tonight. So they don't have any excuse to crash the stream. So I was not surprised to see that President Trump fired Rex Tillerson. There was one site, and I didn't have time to look it up when I did the video at about 6 in the morning. They said that Tillerson would not admit that he called President Trump a moron, and that's the real reason he was fired. So I don't know. Hangtown. I'm not sure what that was. I think there was a video I watched where, on the X-Files, where if they did the hangman thing and they got to the last person, you died. So I don't know what Hangtown is. Oh, okay. Somehow, I like fried oysters, but somehow I cannot imagine eating oysters, bacon, and eggs, and I'm aware of it. I've heard of it. I've read about it, but we've never stopped in Placer. We've gone through it, and that's on my list of things to do one day. We've gone to Auburn several times, and we like downtown Auburn. We always seem to arrive when the shops are closing. So, yeah, I know what Hangtown Fry is. I've never had it. I've never seen it. But I'm not going to eat bacon and oysters together because the only way I like them is fried. Eating a raw oyster is yucky, I watched Man vs. Food, and he was trying to set the record for eating raw oysters, and he couldn't do it. And there's stacks of raw oysters in New Orleans. So I like Manhattan clam chowder, but eating a raw clam is not something I'm going to do either. So not on my top 10 food list. I got a copy of Sunset magazine about things to do without camping or stuff. So I haven't even had a chance to look at that. So if I have a bright enough light, I may switch this bulb. Let me see. Ooh, that's hot. If I don't burn my fingers. Turning it off for a minute. I may switch this bulb into the lamp in the living room, but the problem is I think the lamps in the living room, my mother's 2 lamps that I've salvaged when she died, I think they're only 60 watt rated, and I don't want to start a fire. Let me see here. Ooh, that bottom gets... Damn, I get... Now, it's weird. The bottom gets hot, the top doesn't. Now, let me find the flashlight. I don't have a flashlight. Adventures in Light. Duracell 120 volt E, whatever that is. 60 hours, 850 lumens, 75 mA, whatever that is. Dimmable 270, but this does not have a dimmer, so. And this is made 2 years ago. Suitable for damp locations, made in China. What else is new? And this is an LED lamp, so I'll have to look at the other one, which are also LED lamps. I have the wall light that I cannot change out. It is a weird fluorescent light. You have to go and take the ballast out and do all that stuff. And the light in here is a weird round light on the ceiling. I have a lamp above the bed that has no light. I could put that in the living room. It has shade. I just would have to plug it in. But I like reading in bed. Now, eventually, I will fold the bed up. And, of course, when I move to the complex, I was so happy to see Auburn today. I will have, the cats will take over the sofa bed. No, I'm not going to Reno. We don't have a car yet. And besides, I'm going to Alien Con. That's going to eat up every dime I've got to go down there, to pay for the hotel room, to eat, to pay for the autographs and stuff. I'm paying my rent in advance, so when I go to Alien Con in June, my rent for July will be paid. But I'm gonna have to I can't get this damn thing to screw back in. I'm gonna have to charge the hotel room because I don't have $500 lying around. And we've been to Reno once during hot August nights, but being poor and poverty-stricken people, we couldn't do anything, and the crowds are crazy up there. They have barbecue, but they'll charge you like $25 for a short slab of ribs or something. So it's on to things to do one year when we have money. When we have what I really want to do is wait till I have the 4x4 and then go, because then if we get tired, we can pull over, pull out the sleeping bags and the air mattresses in the back, and have an inflator in the car and inflate the things and go to sleep. And we might not have to spend money on a hotel room unless we get really, after a couple of days, if we're running around, we'll need a shower and bed. But why don't this thing go back in there? This is weird. So that's why I'm getting the 4x4. And one thing, I got it in there now. One thing that's frustrating is I heard a commercial for the Cache Creek Indian Casino the other day. It's north of Santa Rosa, California, where I used to live. And they said, come to Cache Creek because right now we're offering a free, you can win a Toyota Highlander Hybrid Limited, the exact car I want to buy. And I would gladly pay the taxes and license if I want it, but it's like $38,000. Hello, Shortwave, a.k.a. something. What is he? I got to move the screen over just a minute. SRW99. Okay. Now, the question is, there I am. I couldn't see me because the chat takes up the whole... This is going to be a problem. I don't know how the hell I'm going to read the chat and see... I don't need to see me. The hell it's seeing me. I see me all the time. I got to read what you guys are saying. So, by the way, if Phil Emerson comes in, he is blocked. He was acting like a troll. And my stream crashed when he was in here, and the chat kept crashing. Every time I tried to type, the chat would crash. The minute I blocked him, it stopped. So he's banned for life. And he had a very odd thing. He has a channel with 32 subscribers. And he said, I'm not doing videos yet. And he had done 2 videos. So that's very suspicious to me. And there's something I've told some people privately. I got told by an IT expert yesterday. I had to laugh, but I can't say it openly. So it's out there. Oh. So how the hell are you people? Thunderbird, you send me emails all the time. I really appreciate them. Where are you guys? Hello, Clyde. Hello, Shortwave, and the wonderful Zoa, who made the wonderful cape for, where'd she go? She's gone. I don't know, but like I said, I don't want any mention of the evil site, so please don't. Let's not get into that. Let's totally avoid the evil site. And any mention of anybody from the evil site, unless they're good. So I don't want to talk about the evil site tonight, because every time I do, they crash my stream. So, where did Zoe go? Zoe left. There you are. So, back east, I'm worried about Lucky Ferals. As of yesterday, they were supposed to get another nor'easter. Boston Airport had to shut down. There's so much snow coming in. But even where she is, they said they're getting 2 inches of snow. They might get 6, and I'm worried about the wonderful outdoor cat Hydrox, whether he'll be warm or not. So, and she has very cute cats, and so does Lisa. She has the cutest little cat with a little pink nose, little black, little gray and white cat, who's very cute. And one thing she does, it's so cute. She sits there and watches Lucky Ferals on a MacBook or something, or a laptop. So the cat is sitting there watching videos, and I've seen cats watching cat videos and bird videos, but never seen a cat watching a YouTube video before. Yeah, probably. We're supposed to get rain here every day this week, and then a break, and then another next week. So, first month I will go out. I hope I don't have to do what Kathy did. She could not find readers powerful enough for her eyes to read, and she, yeah, Sheba does look like Stella, but she has a much better disposition, I suspect. Although last night on the Lucky Ferals was very funny. I think the black cat, Boo, wanted to play. He jumped on, I think it was Simba, the gray tabby, and all of a sudden he bounced into the air like this or jumped back, and I said that he looked like he was testing the Vomit Comet for NASA. He achieved weightlessness. It was very strange. Still no video of what I sent to Lucky Ferals either, so I'm hoping that... She said she recorded it, but I'm hoping that gets played tonight. And I don't go to bed before I watch my Lucky Ferals and get my daily kitty fix. So, I'm quite sure they're happy that it snowed. By the way, somebody said in the last broadcast that they would love to go gold panning with me. I would love to do that when I can see what the hell I'm doing. All I need is a trip and fall in the river and be washed downstream. And whale found 50 miles from Auburn in the Sacramento River. So I got to be able to see first. This is the cover. I don't know. I guess this is the cover for the battery thing for the head. So this was loose. I'm not quite sure what to do about it. The Martini was, according to all lights, there's a big plaque about 4 blocks from here at a former market, and it says the Martini was invented here. Now, some claim differently. Live that Isa. What is live that Isa? But a bartender apparently in like 1930 or something invented the Martini here in Martinez, California. We also were the last terminus downtown going, let's see, 2, 3, 4 blocks from me is a big stone with a plaque, and it said the last Pony Express mail was delivered here to Martinez, California in 1860. Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, you know, I'm going to join the, what sucks is either Lost Dutchman's Mining Association or the Gold Panners Association of America. They had lifetime memberships. They've stopped that. And now you got to pay by the year, which sucks. But they have a camp up there, and every September, October, you can go up there, stay there for a week, and everybody, you know, brings food in. They have a barbecue. You're staying in cabins. You got to pay for cabins. I guess you could stay in your car if you had one. And all gold that's gotten out of the river is pooled, and everybody gets a share, whether they find any gold or not. I would love to go to that. That'd be cool, and I'd love to do videos of that live. Nobody's done many videos of all this panning going on. Now, I'd have to ask people first, hey, you want to be on YouTube? But I don't have gold panning equipment, but I'm more than willing to buy it. So when I join that, I might be able to bring a friend. They could drive me, and we could, you know, spend the weekend panning for gold. And who knows, I might find a big enough nugget to buy my complex. Imagine if I found a 1 pound nugget somewhere, you know, tap it on the ground by a creek, and there's a big nugget that's somehow missed by somebody, and it's worth millions or thousands. So all I need is $12,000 to buy the land if it's buildable, and I can start. There's a company in Texas. I don't have access to the email. My emails were so sluggish. First thing I would do before I bought the land was buy a new Mac. And a new iPad. And according to what I saw a few minutes ago, but did not read the story, Apple is going to announce new products coming out in their developers conference. I suspect there's going to be new iPads, new iMacs, maybe new phones. There's a rumor they're going to put out a cheaper iPhone 8. So, yeah, there's a lot of trails and parks here. Tons of that stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. Cripple Creek GPA camp, but I'd have to look in my gold miner magazines, which are around here somewhere, or in Kathy's storage. When Borders and when Barnes and Noble Walnut Creek and Barnes and Noble Pleasant Hill was around, I used to buy my gold mining magazines, my Lost Treasure magazines every month. But now without a card, it's been 2 years. Nome, Alaska. Well, I could get to Nome. Alaska Airlines must go to Nome. I would think I could find someone to drive me out there. No, the one I'm talking about is near Auburn, California, which is 30 miles above Roseville and about 40 miles above Sacramento. So you're not sitting there in the snow, I hope. Although there have been early snows in Sierra. Yeah, but that's their videos, you know. Manager and I were filming, and I fell in the creek. You know, that would get a lot of views. George Senda falls in the creek while gold panning. So, but it would be fun, you know, just to go out with other people. I was telling someone today, I went out and talked to the post office lady when I got the head, and I said, you know, I get stir crazy sitting in this house all the time. I just get tired of it. I want to go out in a car, and when my caregiver's wife took Fuzzy to the vet. By the way, Fuzzy is still coughing and sneezing, and I got to call the vet tomorrow and say, hey, I paid you guys $170. You gave her injectable antibiotics and steroids, she's still coughing and sneezing. What did I pay for here? And I don't have any more money to take her there, but I'm going to say, you need to do something. I'm not happy about that either. Not my month for doctors, neither Fuzzy. And for some reason, Fuzzy is sleeping on the floor. I made up a nice little... I love kitties dearly, but I never understand that you make a nice bed. She's got a towel. She's got a hospital blanket in the closet. She's got a towel, a hospital blanket, a rug, and a sweater. They sleep on the floor. Yeah, I can move the red cable. It gets in the way. Hold on a minute. Sorry about that. That's the charging cable for the iPad. There you go. Wait a minute. Let me annoy Thunderbird. All right, Thunderbird. There you go. Whoa! Now I took the charging cable out completely. Wait a minute. There you go. There. Now I'll just hold that for the next 2 hours just to bug you, Thunderbird. just to make you mad, just to pull your leg. I will have that sit there. Now it's still. Hold on. That's going to show up because of the way it's turned. Stop moving thing. I have this big power strip. This has 28 outlets or 14 outlets, and without it I couldn't do anything in here. All right, let's see if I can. Now, there you go. There. Now you're happy. You'll get my bill. Yeah, I still missed a few spots because I couldn't see him. But my back is saying, you ain't doing that tonight. So what I'm going to do is move some stuff tonight, do more sweeping, finally mop the kitchen floor. And then tomorrow, when my back is up to it, I will sit down in a chair or something, or a milk crate, or a couple of milk crates, whatever the hell I can find, and scrub the door. Take everything out of the door, scrub the door. I got to go to Walmart because I'm almost out of paper towels. I used a whole... Yeah, that's it. I have bought my cats over 40 years. Nice little line bed. They'll sleep in a box. They'll sleep on top of my shoe. They'll sleep on bookshelves. They'll sleep in the cat box. I've never understood that one. Why are they sleeping in the cat box? And speaking of cats... Come here. The only cat available at the moment, and she's getting fatter by the minute, the Fuzzy cat. Yes, my baby. First time I get to hold my baby today. Yeah, Fuzzy. You ever seen the fuzzy tail? There's the fuzzy tail. And she's purring away. So we stopped for a fuzzy break. A fuzzy purr break. Yes, fuzzy. Fuzzy. Red thing. Okay, fuzzy. Well, no wiggly. Okay. This is my new Galaxy Pops alien head. There, I'll show it to you. With the worm in his teeth. I don't know why there's a worm in his teeth. I thought it was a rat because I couldn't see it well. Here, let me turn the light off. Mallard! Oh my God! Free the duck! Free the duck! Red alert! Hello! There. I do listen to your podcast when I have the time. So there he is. My new alien head, Jim. And by the way, if you have not listened to, I think his name is Jim. I'm terrible at names anymore. I can't remember my name half the time. He has a great podcast, and if you've never listened to it, go to the Mallard Report and smuggle a duck out so he can have some fresh air and free-range feeding, because I've been haranguing him about free the duck for years. So that's my latest edition. You have the 3 alien heads here. The Alien Pops head from another candy company that has gone defunct. And he's fallen on hard times because the sign keeps moving. But there's the Alien Pops head. That was a nightlight. Somebody made that in the nightlight. And then You can't see them well because of the thing, but this is the LED one, and Jim hasn't seen this, so you can change the colors in this, and it will flash different colors. So this is another alien head I have, and I have another one that's broken. I made a lamp out of it, but it doesn't work as a lamp. No. The haters online have said you can get your own alien head on Alien Pops on eBay. And it's funny, when I got mine, I started talking about the prices went up. They're ranging anywhere from $25 to $90 for a thing that used to hold lollipops with this sign that says Alien Pops. But they break off too easily. There's a little thing you put in the back of his head that say Alien Pops. So I paid about $40 for that. I just couldn't resist it. No, I don't. No. My alien head is not for sale. That's the only alien head nightlight that I've ever seen. Now there goes the cable again. See, this thing is being annoying. It's not getting out of the way. Okay. You offer me $12,000, I wouldn't consider it. I like my alien head. It makes me feel comforted and comfortable. I'm used to it. I had to drill through the other one. It's very hard plastic in the bottom, and I didn't have a drill back then, so if I ever get the other one fixed, I'll do another one. I would like to do, this one has one advantage, and that is if I'm going to have to tape these in, but that's battery operated, and that means it's portable, and then I can eventually maybe figure out an AC adapter. And here's the bottom. I don't know if you can read this. The Galaxy Pop screen head. This was sold in the EU, and it was made from a company in Dublin, Ireland, or at least sold by a company in Dublin. Yeah, they're LEDs. If I open the head, wait a minute. You can see them in there. I don't think they put the Alien Pops. They put the Alien Pops in the head. These went on top of the head. But I've been unable to find any Galaxy Pops anywhere, or even any mention of Galaxy Pop. I happen to see it put in a solar collector. Yeah, well, those are rechargeable batteries. That's good enough for now. So everybody, even the haters, want my. There's a big debate. If I die, they all want my alien head. But he's going to AlienCon with me. That way, when I do videos, he'll be in the background. He'll be sitting there with me. So that's the other reason I got him. The biggest problem with this stupid shelf is every time I go by it, this thing is not secured, and every time I go by it, I knock things down, they break. So, Curtis, how you doing? What's up, man? Curtis Thornton, my friend. No, I do not have alien things I can wear on my head. Not yet. I think I may have somewhere under. Now, it's a little early. I believe that's this Saturday, and it sucks because I don't have the money to go anywhere. This is for St. Patrick's Day. Whoops, if it stays in my head. This is for St. Patrick's Day. And I got that last year, and I have a St. Patrick's Day hat, St. Patrick's Day decorations, and hello, Taciturna. Oh, what a cute little fuzzy bear dog. How cute. Hello, Luca. Wow, this is a lot of people tonight for a guy who's not saying much of anything. 15 people, wow. Yeah, well, all Curtis has to do is tell me I'm available day and night except during cat feeding times and when I go to the store or the doctor. Friday I go to the doctor at 3 o'clock to find out what's going to happen to my eyes. So, but Curtis Thornton helped start the AlienCon Fund, and next month I will buy my own "Where is the Guy from Pittsburgh" shirt and an AlienCon shirt. I was not allowed to say AlienCon on it, and I'll wear that. He disappeared. The hamburger creatures got him. So he's there, I think. If he's working on projects, he's a busy man. He does podcasts. He does IT stuff. I haven't watched Blue Bloods in a couple of months. The problem with he beamed himself before they could probe him. You got to watch out for that. I watched a little bit of Blue Bloods. I like it, but the problem is I'm watching NCIS LA, NCIS New Orleans, Scorpion, Supergirl. So, yeah, did you get probed? You know, the really mean aliens probe you with like nails and screws sticking out and glass. That's the mean aliens, you know. No lubricant either. So, corn cob. I don't remember. They may have pine cones. Barbed wire. That would be a mean alien probe. Barbed wire hooked up to a Die Hard. That would be the, I think, the ultimate bad probe. I don't know why when you talk about alien, I talk about alien, invariably winds up with probing. Why is that? And I don't know why they're probing people. Much less probing them in the stomach, like poor Betty Hill and others have had done. They check for pregnancy and they're not pregnant. I know, you have some retarded aliens, out there. Oh no, not a shucked corn cob. No, you have to get with the shuck and all, preferably with a long stem, so the aliens can hold on to it and wiggle it back and forth for a while. Now that'd be weird. You'd have like popcorn, corn acts cushions, yeah, or a stopper. I play this game. It's not farmland, but it's like farmland. And one of the guys, this helicopter picks up products and sends it to people, and you earn coins and money. And the guy wants popcorn. And the problem is, I haven't seen any popcorn in the game. No, I do not have kids. Kathy had a hysterectomy years ago, and we were talking about her having kids at one day today, and she said the problem is most kids she sees are ill-behaved, yelling and screaming. It drives her nuts. So she would not be great with kids. Now, my favorite popcorn, I shouldn't eat this stuff, is Jolly Times cheddar cheese popcorn. It explodes cheddar cheese. It also gets all over my fingers. Yeah, Mallard's busy, I'm giving them a buffering of this. I talked to my internet company. They increased the DSL, and they told me that switching to Comcast would not end the buffering. And I don't know if that's because they want to keep me as a customer, or if that's true or not. I don't know. I will get a newer iMac and a new iPad next year. So when I save up for it. I think this may be the slowest hour in paranormal radio because of the buffering. I've gotten up, watched myself on the screen, and it's something I did a half an hour ago. So he told me how much the lag time was. So I like children if they're not little monsters yelling and screaming. And I've never just you go into a store, the kid starts crying for 20 minutes and. Yeah, I haven't heard from George in about a month. We're still friends. But he is also a busy man. It's hard to get a hold of him. He's flying all over the place and having seminars and special meetings, and he's in Washington, Toronto, and St. Louis, and everywhere else. So, I do have some plans for something if I'm not... Once we get a car and the doctor said I could don't have to wear corrective lenses if I could ever see well enough to drive. Now, it's strange. I went out yesterday. I could see license plates. I could see street signs with the sunglasses. I took the sunglasses off. I could see everything fine. Today, it's all blurred again. That's driving me nuts. Well, people have complained about it in the past. Maybe there's buffering just on the iMac, and that may be the problem, and not in the... Okay. I will write George a note when we're done with this, and with your permission, Curtis, I will send them your email. Of course, a lot of this stuff is up to Tommy. He's the producer, and I don't know how Tommy would react to. I have sent guest suggestions to George, and he has used some of the guests. I have no swing. I have him on coat. Well, that's criminal. You should be. You've got one of. You're certainly better than that Jimmy Church guy. Bleh. And Lisa Garr and the unlistenable guy who always talks about hockey. The only good weekend host is George Knapp. He is my fourth favorite. I take that back. I'm not going to say fourth, but of all the Coast broadcasters, he is the one I like to listen to more than anybody. I have Tom's number somewhere, but I haven't talked to Tom since January or February, so yeah. There was some kind of VR game somebody told me about, and hello, Garner Girl. Also, I would appreciate if you not mention any drug talk tonight. So, and don't keep repeating yourself over and over. I don't want to see that either. Using a Dell computer, you're not an Apple fan. Well, I started using Macs when the I had Windows ME, which is the worst operating system I ever saw, and guy's name that used to be on Coast to Coast, it looked like Frankenstein, but Nori fired him. I have no idea. Now, I talked to Apple, and no drug comments, please. I talked to Apple, and they claimed it wasn't being done, but I saw it. Some guys pranked the iPhone 10, and they made up some kind of face, and it bought it as a person, and it wasn't a person, like a paper mache thing or something. No, someone was in here one or two podcasts ago, and they just constantly kept mentioning drugs, and it was very irritating. I'm not saying you, but I don't remember right now. And right now, I've got the screen cranked up pretty high, so I can see the text. Let me see if we'll go any further. Whoa! Well, if I did that, I can now see it clearly, but it just jumped the screen to the... I like John B. Wells. I really... thank you for reminding me. I'd forgotten he was on Coast. I have been listening to him for ages. I like his deep voice, you know. And I don't know. There were issues, I think, that he had with the network, and there were certain things that he wanted to say, and somebody didn't want them to be said. Curtis, the problem is this. I have an app on this iPad called Weatherbug. And I found, well, I like deep voices like this, you know. The Fastest Hour in Paranormal Radio. You know, you could do that. And Weatherbug, unbeknownst to me until I got an article the other day, they send your location... They take your location down, and they sell your location to other companies. And Google does that, and Facebook does that. And mapping your faces and all of that. They're probably doing that, and they never... What size? I don't know. They never... Somebody just sent me a thing. They never tell us that. So, Art Bell lives in a complex. It may or may, I think it's a bunch of trailers put together. Yeah, well, my late friend Maroney, who is Art Bell? You speak sacrilege, woman. Art Bell is the master. Art Bell, for someone who does not know, was the founder of the show Coast to Coast AM. And he was the first host, and George Norrie took over for him. Linux Mint 18.3. Wow, I remember when we were working on Linux in 1977, I think, when I went to Laney College in Oakland, and they were starting to put it on the mainframes for the computer lab, and were having the biggest problem with Linux when I was sitting there playing games in the computer lab. So, that's how far back I go with Linux, although I've done a little Unix programming, but it's been ages. Well, one thing, Art Bell has had 2 Filipino wives. The first, Ramona Bell, died of asthma. I have asthma and COPD. She choked to death in her sleep with Art while they were staying at a hotel at a paranormal convention in Henderson, Nevada. And he now married Aaron Bell, and he has a wonderful daughter, Asia, who's very pretty. And her shirts are for sale on Sea Crane Radio website. And Bob Crane and Art Bell are old friends, and he's an old Art Bell advertiser. So, well, I don't know if it was GNU because I can't remember back that far. So, okay, I will bear with me because now here's my problem with the screen. First of all, this is the eye that got operated on. It keeps tearing. Ah, there's the Russian guy. Dos Videnya. Peroski to you. I got to learn some Russian. I feel stupid. I feel like a stupid American. By the way, I was watching Steve Allen the other night in an interview, and to show you how things used to be in Russia, he went to Russia in 1958 when the Soviet government was, again, anti-American, anti-everything American, including jazz. Well, there were underground jazz clubs there that did not say they were a jazz club, but you would go in there and they'd be playing American music, Gershwin and other things, the Dizzy Gillespie, Count Basie, Louis Armstrong. They learned that from American movies. There was no sheet music. Well, he had a record given to him by someone. He said, there's these 2 Russian guys who've done this cut on this record. Would you take it to Russia? And here's a way to contact him and give it to him. And he had to meet them in the lobby of the hotel. In those days, you couldn't meet an American in his hotel room because the KGB would be all over you and the guys you were meeting. And he gave him the record. X-ray records. Well, I've never seen an X-ray record. How does it play? 45, 78, 16? But I don't know. I'm sure that my records are out there. I'm not worried about it. Everybody knows who I am, where I am. When I do the complex, I was even told by the IT guy that even if I move, get all new equipment, go satellite, internet, they can still hack me if they know where I am. The only way to be safe is to completely go off the grid. Not off the electric grid, but off the internet grid. So, I don't know what X-ray records are. That's a new one, Curtis. And by the way, the Russian guy, he is not proficient in English, but then we're even. I'm not proficient in Russian. So, no, this show is not colluding with the Russians. And I have been given a pass by the Republicans in the House and the Senate who determined that Trump was not colluding with them either, but the Democrats are obsessed with that. So, however, if they want to donate money to the guy from Pittsburgh, I will be gladly colluding with Russians, preferably a hot blonde or brunette, and I will make them clean my house, do my laundry, and then we will achieve detente in some manner. But just don't tell Kathy. No, if Mueller knocks, I'll throw him down the balcony because he's anti-Trump. I'll push him down the balcony. Yeah, well, Russian X-Way rock and roll records. All right, I will, let me, oh, I got to see my notepad now. See, what is this? Glasses USA. Okay, that's for Kathy. Hold on. Oh, yeah, where's 6-week tenure? He's always in it. I used X-rays to create records when rock was banned. Okay. Russian X-ray records. Okay, they use X-rays. That's cool. The problem with banning anything in any country is freedom wills out. People want to be free. They don't want any government telling them what to do. I watched NCIS LA last night, and they went to Vietnam. Totalitarian state, police state, but now how this actually work in the real world, I don't know. But they managed to do what they had to do. But even in China, they are capitalistic when they used to be not capitalistic, but the government controls a lot of state-run companies. But people want their own little piece of land. They want, or in the cities of China, the big cities, they have very opulent condos. I may still have pictures of my mother's friends. They would show these things that make my apartment look like a cardboard box. I mean, they were so opulent, and they were like 8 and 9 and 10 room condos in condo towers in Beijing and Shanghai and Nanking. Now, these are the old names. So, incredible stuff. And these people are very well off. They're not the poor peasant hoeing from the good earth and Pearl Buck from the 30s. There are poor people in China. There are towns, every time you get an earthquake, half the towns get wiped out. They're living in stone houses or houses made out of wood. I will look that up later when I can see. If I stare at the screen too long, it hurts. So I'm not there yet. Now I can see all this, but there's kind of a glow and blur. Now I changed on my iPad the color. I got a thing from Google saying you can change this. And now my iPad, when I type, it instead of a white background, it's now a black background. And I can see to type a YouTube video. See what the hell I'm doing. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. But then, can I see the screen? Let me get up and find out. We'll do this experiment. Why isn't there a Google Translator in chat? That's what I want to know. There should be. If it were my Google, there would be. Okay. One reason I'll be glad to move into a bigger place is I have to turn sideways or go very slowly. Because I've got so many bookcases, there's so many things in here. Okay, hold on. I'm very cramped in this place. All right, here we go. Hey, whoa, this one's brand new. Let me take the stickers off. Well, I should leave them on. But then I couldn't see. I mean, what do it say on these stickers? It says here, shatterproof polycarbonate. Now, I got another pair of these, but the lens keeps falling out. And this one says VU, which may be Russian for something. Okay, I look like Bono. I don't know. He's going to be madder in hell when he finds out I look like him. Again with the yins. Okay, there's a thing in Pittsburgh, a yinzer, and that's like one of us, I think. So, yes, I will do this. I need a hat. I need a fedora and a black suit. I could be the Men in Black waiting to knock at your door. You saw a UFO. Do not say anything about it. Oh, good Lord, yeah. I used to, with my friend John, we used to repair Commodore disk drives. I've used VIC-20s and Commodores. A top hat like Slash. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to... Back in the day when I was in junior high school, I tap danced, but my condition of my feet getting numb, I'm not going to be tap dancing. You're wearing a top hat and canes and tails. That, one of the problems, if I had my way, if there were a way to do it, I would have the letters be white and the background be black or red or something so I could see what the hell I'm looking at. I'm going to crank this up a little more. Whoa. Whoops. Hold on. All right. That made it really, really big. And super big. And, okay, now I can't get it much bigger than that because I'll run out of screen. What I need to do, no, I don't have tattoos. First of all, I'm Jewish. I don't work at it like my mother did. It's a sin to do tattoos. I don't believe in defacing my body. I have enough scars and things. I have some weird thing in my arm. It keeps, like, being scaly, and it has gotten infected. I don't know where that's coming from. But my father had tattoos. He was in the military. And when I grew up back then, the only guys who had tattoos were either convicts, guys in the military, or if you'd been a pirate. But I don't understand the women particularly where they tattoo their faces, their entire bodies. I don't get it. If you're not happy with your body, why would you want to put tattoos all over you? The only tattoos I ever wore when I was a kid, you had bazooka bubble gum, and you would take these tattoos, and you would get them wet, and you'd put them in your hands, and they'd wash off. So, but I'm not a tattoo kind of guy. I'm not going to have tattoos around my neck. I got to lose some of this neck and some weight, too. So, I have used, okay, let's see, a TI-99 calculator that was programmable. I have used in television, Atari, Amiga, a little bit. Amiga had a weird operating system I could never figure it out. Commodore. VIC-20. Processor technology, Sol, Apple. Z80 CPM computers, PCs, Macs, little tiny Sinclair, teletypes, ColecoVision, let's see what else, Sega Genesis, N64, Game Boys, oh God, Mattel, no, it was Mattel's, that was in television, and I've played with other computers, but way back when in the 70s at the West Coast Computers Fair, I used to look at everything. Oh yeah, I forgot, IMSI, 8080s, as you see in war games. There's for sale. I'd like red blinking light to appear and those lenses would sink the green alien. Well, that may happen, but I would not do it without a kit, Wouldn't it be weird if I took these off? My eyes were red blinking lights. So, I'm old school. My Atari 5200 is in the closet, but Kathy, I put the things in the Prius and she threw everything in storage. So, yeah, she threw everything in storage and I don't have the charger for it. So there is a game store out on Treat Boulevard that has all kinds of retro gaming devices for sale, and one day I may go out there and get some of the old stuff. I plan to, when I build my, assuming I can, build my container house, excuse me, to also have a game room. And I would love to get Gauntlet and Spy Hunter and Mappy, my all-time favorite game, stand-ups, or ones that would sit down, and at least one pinball game. I don't care for pinball that much anymore, but I do want one pinball game, and I've looked on eBay, and, it costs a lot to ship them a lot. But the baseball ones where you hit the ball and you try to get a home run. And that's what I used to play a lot as a kid. I don't care for pachinko. There used to be one you would kick the ball, the ball bearing, it would go down these pegs, and if you won candy or something. What did I used to play with when I was a kid? Well, the first thing I remember playing with, I had 2 play sets that I wore. That was the Roy Rogers play set and the Hopalong Cassidy. I had my guns. I have a picture of me when I'm about 5, all dressed up with the hat, the guns, everything. So I was defending Mississauga City, the former Port Credit from invaders, from the porch of my uncle's house. I used to play with my Rifleman play set, which is worth a small. I saw one on eBay for $800. Operation Moonbase, Remco toys, the Remco's Bazooka, a lot of Corgi cars and cars way before Hot Wheels. Corgis were very expensive back then. American Flyer, train sets, Lionel trains. I didn't learn how to ride a bicycle. I was 12. We just moved around too much. Buck Rogers. No, I did not play with Buck Rogers. I know Buck Rogers. I know. I have a book here that is a reprint, of course, of the original. I think it's Armageddon 2087 or something like that. The guy that wrote Buck Rogers. Did a lot of reading, though. And what else did we do? We used to play, instead of cowboys and Indians, we played combat with Sergeant Saunders. But remember, I went to private schools and military schools, so a lot of time I was not playing with other kids. I was being farmed out to somewhere else because my mother had the alcoholic, abusive father in this hand, and the kid who was terrified of the alcoholic, abusive father and the abusive verbally mother, so she would send me off to schools. So, ColecoVision, yeah, ColecoVision was cool. My late friend Glenn, he bought every machine that was out there. He bought ColecoVision, television, Atari Vision, you name it. Bye, Curtis. Send my hamburger place shirt and a couple of hamburgers. I'm starving. So I ate potatoes last night. Potatoes are not filling if that's all you eat. I forgot. I looked in the freezer today. I still have 2 bags of chicken that I am saving for chicken soup, but I found a Cornish game hen. That's thawing. That will be dinner. If it thaws, it doesn't thaw till 4 in the morning. You can send stuff to me. Yeah, it's called Starvation Review. I'm starving. I haven't eaten anything all day. What did I ate 2 small Tootsie Roll Minis. That was breakfast. Went over to the senior center to get my form. Well, I'll tell you, the dinners I get from Meals on Wheels, they are from another planet. The mashed potatoes, one time they're mashed potatoes, but they're another time they're like soup. So I do have some scallop potatoes, which I forgot about. I can make those. Every time Kathy makes them, they upset my stomach. I don't want. If anyone wants to send me something, Do not do this as a P.O. box because I won't get the package. Gift cards are better because I had a troll send me stuff and it was suspicious, and it was stuff from Japan like squid, dried squid, and I wasn't about to eat that anyway, but. And so that's where you can send me stuff. It'd be better if gift cards, and I'll go out and buy food. You want me to eat something within reason. I'm not going to eat sriracha, hot peppers, or death peppers or something like that because I have acid reflux and it would probably wind me in the hospital. But right now there's nothing to eat. I can't, unless you want me to see me eat Quaker instant oatmeal with peach flavored. I have about 10 packets of that, or 12. I bought 2 boxes. The cupboard is bare. I haven't had, with all this going to the hospital, I haven't had time to go any shopping. I have never tried it. I have been told that some people think it's the vilest food on earth. It's rotting cabbage with a bunch of other vegetables in it. And according to my friend, late friend John Conlon, he's got to be dead by now. It's been 20 years since I talked to him. He was in Korea in the army, and he used to eat it. He learned to like it, but he said the Koreans, they take it and they put it in a jar and they bury it underground for like 9 months until it ferments. Yeah, this guy sent me stuff, and because it was from a troll who also sent me a fake iPad, he sent me a box. I still have the box. He also sent me pornography, which was disgusting. And he sent me a box with an iPad. And then inside the box was an iPad manual, a pack of cigarettes. I gave the cigarettes to my neighbor who smokes, and a bunch of pieces of cardboard. But it was the weight of an iPad. My iPad was stolen, so it was very mean. So if I were to be sent food, and to make sure it hasn't been tampered with and stuff like that, that's why I say send me gift cards. Yeah, I knew Steve Jobs. I used to see him at events, and I would call him the A word, and he would say, "George, what do you call me?" I said, "Steve, you yell at your employees. You're not a nice guy. You're a great innovator. You do great stuff technically. My biggest issue with you, one is Apple II forever. I'll never forgive him for that. But the other thing is that they would come out with stuff, and then they would have to say, "Oh, this isn't working, and we'll have to fix it." And they go, "Fix the damn thing before you release it." And that's always been the problem with Apple. No, Steve Jobs had colon cancer, and I lost my friend Stuart to colon cancer. And so that's the deal there. He wasted away to nothing. But we got along. I also know people, the haters don't believe me. I used to hang around computer places, computer stores, computer conferences. I've gotten into places I shouldn't have been. When I was young and able to walk around, didn't walk with a cane, didn't have a bad back. I had a bad back. I fell down a flight of stairs in 1972 in Los Angeles. I think that's how I originally injured my back. I came out and the landlord washed the marble steps down. I went straight down the stairs in my back. But I respect Steve Jobs a lot. And I, of course, Wozniak, I also know Wozniak. Woz is still God. Steve Wozniak. Steve Wozniak is a sweetheart. What is this? Oh, it's John Scully. John Scully, I have no use for. He dragged Apple into the ground. That's why they had to bring Jobs back. And, oh yeah, I forgot. I had a Newton. I had early MacBooks. I had the original Mac at one time. The little gray Mac. So, I've had a lot of stuff. I used to write on WordStar on a CP/M-based computer. I had a little computer, and if you took the side of this book and doubled it in height, that was the screen. The screen was about this big, and it was yellow text, and I used to type all my letters in a WordStar. Yeah, well, to give you an idea how much things cost when they're, quote, new, back in the 2001, I went to Costco one day, and they had the first flat screen Sonys, and they were 32-inch Sonys, I think, and they were $10,000. So within a couple of years, you can go down and get an off-brand set for $250, and they're 60-inch screens, but they're not Sonys or major brand. I have had dinner with George, and I've never known how to pronounce his name, and if I ever see him again, how do you pronounce your damn name? Takei. We went to Berkeley one time, and George took a whole bunch of us to dinner, and he had everywhere name badges say George, and I said, I don't need one. He said, why? Because I'm George. And he laughed. And everyone was named George, and I knew Jimmy Doohan, Scotty. I introduced him to his wife, Wendy. They got married. He was appearing in the trial of James McNeill Whistler on Broadway in San Francisco. We had the Star Trek Red Hour Festival, and he was there for that event and drank a lot of scotch. Lovely man. And I've talked to William Shatner briefly when he was advertising his record, The Transformed Man. He used to go out and hunt boar on Catalina Island with a bow and arrow. He's stopped hunting now. And I spent an hour talking to Leonard Nimoy at KGO Television when I was waiting to be seen for a television interview that sadly never aired, and he was promoting his new book, I Am Not Spock. And we talked for an hour about being Jewish. I've also met Yvonne Craig, the wonderful actress who played Batgirl, but she was in a Star Trek episode. And I've met Grace Lee Whitney, who was Yeoman Rand. And both these women, as a young man, I had a horrible crush on because they were gorgeous. And both of them are gone. I've also met two actors, one who was in A Piece of the Action, and one who was in the Enterprise incident. They were at the same convention in Oakland, comics convention. Got their autographs. Oh, and Julie Newmar, she was also in a Star Trek episode. That's who I've met in Star Trek. I used to have correspondence with people at Paramount, but it's been years. So, I forgot one. Because the hotel is not a hotel anymore. There was a hotel in West Sacramento. Don't ask me the name. But when I lived in Sacramento in the 90s, they had a comics convention there, and Michael Dorn, Worf, appeared, and I met him and had his autograph and his picture. But when I lost my storage in 2001, I lost everything. So I haven't been to a Comics Con in ages. So I would love to go. Good night, Taciturna. Have a good night wherever you are, and hug the doggy if you have a doggy. I love those little bear dogs. They're the cutest dogs, little fuzzy Pomeranians. So, I have an app on my Mac. Let me see if I still have it. It's called Mac Tracker. If you have a Mac, you can put it on your Mac, and it will tell you the value of any new Mac, going back to the day when they went out to the original Mac and other thingies like a Newton. My Mac, when I bought it, was $1,190 in 2010. So, no, I don't. Now, oddly, I can see the print. Now I can see the print quite clearly. If I take the glasses off. But now I can't find Mac Tracker. Anyway, if you've got a Mac, that's what you put on, and it will tell you every Mac value ever made. So, no, I've not met anybody from Star Wars. See, who else have I met? Clint Eastwood. The late Darren McGavin, Kolchak, The Night Stalker. He was doing a made-for-TV movie around the corner from where I lived, set in the 20s, where he played a police lieutenant. I talked to him for a while. Met Janet Leigh and George Maharis and Alice Ghostley. They were doing a movie called The Monk. I was in it as a teenager, but unfortunately they cut my scene out. So, Frank Sinatra, the late great comedian Toady Fields, may she rest in peace. No, the Kolchak the Night Stalker. No, not the Night Stalker. Good Lord, no. No. Hold on, I have to eliminate. It won't let me. I hate this. It won't let me type. And then I have to get the chat back again. Now, the great show and two made-for-TV movies. Excuse the caps. With these stupid glasses on, I can't see the caps lock. Darren McGavin, the character was created by Jeff Rice in a book. He did Kolchak the Night Stalker and Kolchak the Night Strangler. The Night Stalker was filmed in Las Vegas. Kolchak was a kind of down on his luck reporter. He had a job in a newspaper, but he was always getting fired. He got himself into trouble with the editors and the police and the DA and the mayor of wherever he went to. And that movie had Carol Lindley in it as his girlfriend, and Claude Akins, and of course the great character actor Simon Oak as Vincenzo, his constantly aggravated editor. And then he did one in Seattle, The Night Strangler, with this guy who looked like Mr. Hyde from Jekyll and Hyde. He had superhuman strength and he was strangling women. And then they made a series of it, and then they made a remake after he died that was terrible. So that's Kolchak the Night Stalker. So I actually got to meet him. He had signed an autographed picture for me. And I had dozens of autographs of people and books and everything else. And it was horrible. I lost everything I owned. So put everything in storage, and the manager at Public Storage was behind 1 month in their accounting and told me she sent me a letter. And I would go in every month, at the beginning of the month, pay a check, and came in there, and we sold your stuff. So I love Kolchak. Somewhere around here, I have an ID badge of Kolchak with his INS, Independent News Service, Chicago, with his picture on it. So, I think the first Macs cost around $2,000. That was a lot of money back then. I know the first Apple IIe I bought I bought it at Macy's. Apple IIe, not enhanced Apple IIe at Macy's was $1,600. That was in 1984. No, I didn't go to Jimmy Duan's wedding. So, and if I were to go in the living room, there's a chair in front of it with a bunch of stuff on it. I think I'm going to put away some of my laundry tonight. It's been sitting there for 2 weeks. No, I do not smoke weed. Please, no references of drugs in my channel. Thank you. Somebody kept doing that, 1 or 2 video casts to go, and they wouldn't stop. So I don't want any drug references. I have my Apple IIe, my Apple II GS, my Apple IIc, an energy-based Apple. So, I had to tell 2 people in here last time to stop repeating themselves and stop. One kept bringing up drug references, and the other guy banned because he was a troll and the stream crashed. So, and I think he did it. I think he's from the evil website. So, hi Will, how are you doing? Hello Michael, I haven't said hello to you because I can't see the screen very well. Let me see if I can increase the brightness of this sucker. No, they did not make an Apple II. They made an Apple I, and you can get a kit. You can get a kit for about $650. You build your own. Of course, an actual Apple I and where you're to have it is about $200,000 now, where they sold for $900 when they were new. I cannot see the damn. Hold on. There we go. Boy, to show you how bad my eyes are, I have the display cranked up to maximum. And I'm still having trouble seeing. And, oh, that is bright. When you don't look at a bright white screen. There is Bay, I can't remember the name of it now, Bay something. They just moved, and their card room is not open yet. They just moved to a new location. They do the World Poker Tour. There is California Grand Casino, which is down the street from me. They're open 24 hours. They have a fairly good restaurant. You get this huge plate of Chinese food. They also have breakfast and stuff. I get my poker magazine there. Sadly, All In and a couple of other poker magazines I used to get, I don't think they're published anymore. I love watching poker on TV. I have not played live poker in years. One of the things I would love to do is come up with 10 grand and try my hand at the World Series of Poker. But I don't know if my back could take the 4 or 5 days it would take to try to make the final table and all that. I'd probably have to need a massage or a steamroller running down my back at the end of the day. But it would be cool to go. It would be cool to attend, and you can play in satellite tournaments and win a free ticket. But then you have to get a hotel room and all that. It's held at the Rio Hotel every year, which is owned by Harris. Going to the WSLP would be really cool. Or a World Poker Tour tournament. What the hell is that guy's name? Mike something or other. And he's a very good player. He's one of the commentators on their network. Can't remember his last name right now. I haven't watched poker in a while, but when I do, I watch. And Poker Stars and that was Site. No, what's it? They have a bunch of professional players. They play on Saturday night at NBC, or they used to. I was terrible in online poker. Part of the problem is I think the online poker things that were out there cheat, because I would play it. I once counted, and there's something wrong when you play hands and you get 54 twos. I've only seen IKEA furniture on eBay. I have no knowledge of IKEA. And take that back, I've seen used IKEA furniture. One reason I would like to have the 4x4 is there's a lot of, it's incredible how much stuff we throw away and give away and leave out. There's tons of IKEA furniture on Craigslist, and there are guys, there's a guy who does a channel called Taco Stacks. All he does is drive around and picks up discarded stuff and sells it as scrap, sells it on Etsy, stuff that's worth money. People leave them on the curb, or it's free on Craigslist. So, but I know nothing about it. I've never been to an IKEA. There's an IKEA store in Emeryville on the site of the former steel plant that used to be there, and sadly, the giant neon Sherwin-Williams cover the earth. You had a paint bucket, and it was overturned like this, and it would pour paint in colors. And they should have left that there. That was one of the greatest advertising signs ever, but they took it down. And we've been to the former Tower Records there. We've been to the former Tower Books there. No, I think Amazon's the Borg in the retail world. Let's face it, Amazon is wiping everybody out. Look at Toys R Us. They're about to go under. I don't know if they've announced they're closing all their stores, but they've declared bankruptcy. They cannot compete when, I'd have to look it up, when you get a book, bear with me for a moment, I cannot see the print on this. All right, when this came out, it was $35, and I got this for free. And this came out in 2011. But let's say you have a book that's $35 now. You go on Amazon and it's $3.98. Stores can't compete with this. Costco, anything. I am using a 2010 iMac. So it's 8 years old. I need a new iMac. It's 21.5-inch iMac. And Walmart is still open. I mean, go to Walmart all the time. Walmart is having slowing sales too because people are buying online. I don't like buying online entirely because I like to see what the hell I'm buying. By the way, my neighbor left a game. It's a pie throwing game for kids. You have this lever, you push these buttons, and I don't know what you do with it. And you put a real pie on it, and then when you lose, it throws a pie at somebody. It's a very odd thing to have. Well, the problem is I don't do PC and haven't, and I've looked at Windows 10, and remember the evil laptop that the evil one from the evil website sold me is a PC. I have technically a PC in the closet. I used to have a 286, 386, 486. I should have kept the 486. And down the pike, I will go get another 486 when I build the complex, so I can play my older PC games if I still have any. And my late friend Maroney looked at Windows 10, couldn't figure it out. He was used to Windows 7. He had them with a brand new computer. He had them wipe out Windows 10 and put Windows 7 back on it. So, if I were to get a laptop, I would save up the money and buy an Alienware. Just for no other reason that would go along with all my other Alien stuff. Do I have a dedicated gaming computer for sniping noobs? No, I have a 2008 MacBook. That's my dedicated ancient gaming computer. I'm not sure what a noob is. I have tried to play Call of Duty. In fact, the game store on Ignacio Valley Road at Treat, they have big monitors. And the kids play so much an hour, and all they do is sit there with Call of Duty Zombies and all that stuff. But I've looked at Windows 10. I can barely figure it out. I was used to ME or XP. What was it, Vista? But I went to Mac because I got tired. I had a game. I still have the game somewhere around here called The Rise and Rule of Ancient Empires. It was buggy. It would crash. But under ME, which was a horrible OS, I had my machine compact, which is why I would never buy an HP machine again. They bought compact. Compact came out, replaced the hard drive, replaced the motherboard, and 3 days after they came out, replaced everything on my compact. It crashed. And I had two professional IT fellows went and completely scanned the machine and tried to fix it. It still died. Eventually it died, and I gave it to recycling. So this is why I don't like PCs. This Mac is getting kludgy. It's old. The hard drive may be going out. And I will eventually take this offline, put an SSD drive in, put a new CD drive in so I can listen to my music and watch movies, and do an external Blu-ray. You can watch Blu-ray on a Mac even though it's not supported. It's another issue I had with Steve Jobs. He refused to put Blu-ray on Macs. And Blu-ray is it as far as I'm concerned until they get something better. But now, if I had unlimited amount of money, I would get the new Mac Pro as opposed to one that looked like an ashtray. It's $13,000 for the ultimate Mac Pro. Would get a 110-inch screen behind me and in front of me as a mirror screen and do that. But then I'd probably not doing videos. I'd probably get 6 screens and start selling Forex or commodities or something. I've got lots of books on how to do it. I've just never had the money to do it. And I'd have to sit down and reread the books. I have about 200... That's a car going by, but it sounds very weird. 200... No, I am not on the dark web. My hacking abilities were copying the game software I bought so I'd have backup copies. So back in the day, I would take it to friends. They would use Copy2 Plus or Wildcard and there's a locksmith and copy the games and make a copy for me. And when I lost my storage, I lost some of those. And Kathy's housekeeper came in to clean our apartment. I was and threw all my game software out, so I've had to start over. I don't believe in malicious hacking, although I would make an exception in certain cases. But I think if you hack someone's computer, you should be taken out and have your hands chopped off and left to bleed out. So, bub rub, my whistle tips go woo woo. What the hell is that? Bub rub? What are you smoking, Michael? I don't want any of it. That's weird. No, there's evil stuff in the dark web, including, unfortunately, trolls. So I really don't want to discuss this anymore. So I'm going to block out that comment, and any more discussion on this sort of stuff, you'll get blocked. No more about the dark web, trolls, or any of that stuff. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to go through that tonight. Have the thing crash, because twice now my live stream has been crashed. I don't know if YouTube doing it or Rescue Racer. Oh. Okay, Jason Callan. How come I get? Nobody pays attention. I guess I'm gonna have to put a blog post or something on this or do. Okay. Jason Callan's a guy in a small town next to Erie, Pennsylvania. I've never been to Erie. My dad used to run bootleg booze for Al Capone in the 20s up there. From Pittsburgh, back and forth, across the Canadian border. So, in a truck. Jason Callan does food videos. He reviews food. He does movie reviews. He's got a fairly big following. Actually, when he hooks up with this fat guy named Jimmy or Teddy or whatever the hell his name is, they get thousands of views. When he does his own, he gets a couple hundred views. Well, he did a video a couple of years ago where he said that I was copying his stuff. His niece was on there. I never even heard of the guy. How could I copy someone I never heard of? And then all of a sudden, his legion of fans, and then, by the way, he calls them a legion. I looked at subscribers at the time. A legion is 900 in the Roman army, the ancient Roman army. He didn't even have 900 subscribers, so he couldn't have had a legion. But they started attacking me mercilessly in chat, in comments, my YouTube channel. Finally, someone sent me his home phone number, and I called him up. We spoke to an hour. He told his legion to leave me alone. They still wouldn't do it. They've left me alone now, so I have no issues with him. We were getting along fine. Talked to him on the phone. I'd love to meet you sometime. Do a video together, whatever. He'll eat a sandwich, spit it out. He'll eat soup, spit it out. He told me he doesn't eat the food. He just chews it and then spits it into a bucket. No, he's a heavy-set guy with gray hair like me. I don't know who the thin guy. The only thin guy I know wears suits is Slender Man or the hat guy. So, remember, there are a lot of channels. I have subscribed. By the way, I've seen channels with little cat videos or whatever. They got 20 subscribers. So I've subscribed them because they need all the help they can get. I think I've got like 70 or 80 subscribers now of subscriptions to various sites. Homestead Living. There's this great one, a guy in Phoenix. He just built a go-kart out of metal, motorized go-kart. And some financial sites. There was a guy with the silver something or other. I think he may have died. But he did some great stuff on commodities, gold and silver, every couple of days, and he hasn't done a video in a couple of years. Lucky Farrells, Glenn and Cameron Mathias. He had great weird products you find on eBay and Amazon and Chinese places. And I saw a product that I would be buying because I can use it to display new things I get in the mail. And there might be some fun playing around with that. I'm not going to say what it is till I do it. But who else am I subscribed to? Oh, God. Right side, right wing broadcasting, Fox News, live streams. Oh, good Lord. I can't remember all of them. There's too many. I listen to Alex Jones. I take Alex Jones with a pound of salt because sometimes Alex Jones sounds like a complete nutcase. But there are other things I believe Alex Jones is telling the truth. Remember, you start saying some things and they shut you up, and they have done things. And by the way, he reported on that bombing that's going on in Austin, and Art Bell Fan 1, who I'm surprised isn't in here, he told me that people are scared to death now in Austin to pick up a package, even if it's from UPS or Amazon or FedEx. They're just scared. So I haven't listened to Alex Jones in about 2 months. And I don't like to listen to Alex Jones when it's not Alex Jones, because it's just not the same. It's like listening to Clyde Crash Cup or something. No, I don't listen to Ghost from True Capitalist Radio. I've got about 6 podcasts, but it's a matter of when I'm doing something else or I'm doing video. I'm doing this, of course. I can't. I guess I could listen to a podcast at the same time. I hadn't, but it would interfere with what's going on the computer. I do Jim Mallard. I do the other guy, Jim Harold, I think is his name. I used to, and I'm stripping those off my computer because they're taking up all over my hard drive. I used to listen to poker podcasts. I used to listen to internet, how to do stuff on the internet, how to do stuff on YouTube. It's just too much. Depends on how tired I am. Some nights I don't go to bed. Okay, let's say I'm sitting here and a thing flashes across the screen from my email. A bus accident, a plane crash, terrorism. I immediately stop what I'm doing, run in here, that's why I miss my other iPad, because I could be doing a live video while I'm on here of a news event. I put that immediately on YouTube. I have beaten CBS, NBC, CNN, and Fox News to YouTube. And in some cases, I get the notification of something happening, and they haven't even started to cover the story yet. This is why I'm so frustrated. Lauren Southern wears pants are too tight. Well, I wouldn't know anything about that. I don't even know who Lauren Southern is. Remember, I'm old school. I'm still working on people from the 70s, and a lot of the current crop of so-called, quote, celebrities politicize everything, and from what I heard of some of their singing, it's like metal fingernails on a blackboard. So I'm not thrilled with a lot of the people. I did see something on the Messiah's channel today, and he had some singer, female, and her song was "You Suck." That broke me up. But I listen to jazz, I listen to soundtracks, I listen to classical music, the late Steve Allen songs, people of that vintage, so I don't listen to new stuff, and a lot of rap is pain. A lot of songs I hear singing. I hear current rock singers, and it's like they're torturing a chicken or something, and I'm going, oh God, what is that? Shut it off. So, no, I do not listen. I've never listened to gangster rap. I consider rap to be offensive. It's anti-woman. It's anti-police. It's anti-white. It's a lot of violence, a lot of beating up a woman and killing and everything else. Clyde Lewis. I've heard of Clyde Lewis. Nickelbacks. I know the Nickelback play very vaguely in the back of my head. The Sea Turkeys, or the She Turkeys, I call them. I think they've been overrated. Their Legion of Doom, that sure hell didn't work last season, did they? I talk about the Steelers with Abram. I haven't looked much at Steelers. Somebody just traded somebody or picked somebody up. I got an email of that. Haven't looked at that. God, my now right eye's hurting. I think I've listened to Clyde Lewis, but I don't remember. There's so much stuff I've got. If I were to sit and I have 45,000 emails, many of which I haven't removed yet. I haven't had a chance to read them. If I sat and read all my emails and looked at all the sites I get sent to me, You wouldn't see me doing any videos. That's all I've been doing is looking for you. No, I listened to the first Steve Allen show when I was about 5 years old, maybe. The original Steve Allen show I watched. I would stay up as a little child. Remember, I started reading at the age of 3. No, I'm not related to him. We're friends. I started reading at the age of 3. Jeremy Nojoy, there he is. Yes, my man, my football man, the football expert, Supremo, and Slacker. Hold on. It is like this. It is El Slackacabra himself. That should have been Slackacabra, not Slackcabra. But how about them Raiders? I was really disappointed in the Raiders. They fired one of their former players who was a coach. I thought the Raiders were going to do really good last year. I'm hoping to do better. I root for the Raiders because of their long-suffering fans. Well, my problem is my football knowledge, unless I'm looking at other teams, is mostly the Steelers. I don't follow the 49ers, although they have a really good quarterback, and I think his name is Garofalo. What he really needs to do is get a hold of Jeremy Nojoy. This man knows football. Look, if you've been a Raiders fan with this commitment to excellence stuff, and they've been terrible for years, it's like being a Cubs fan who won a World Series, which amazed me. Tim Tebow, no. Look, I go back to the days of Johnny Unitas, John Brody, Jim Brown. When I was born, the Steelers sucked. So did the Pirates. The Pirates lost 100 games in 1952. And by the way, that's when I was born. So Steve Allen is my favorite comedian and favorite all-time talk show host. And I'm very fond of Conan. I like Craig Ferguson. So it'll be interesting to see how they play when they move to Vegas. But once again, they screw the Oakland fans over because they won't have a team. Well, good night, Thunderbird. Thank you for all your support. I worked on Streets of San Francisco as an extra, so I'm very fond of that show. There was so much in the 70s. You had blind detectives. You had detectives in wheelchairs. The only thing you didn't have was a psychic detective. Now we got 2 psychics running, a black guy and a white guy, being psychics. Let's see. My problem with football and football plays I know what they're doing, but I don't know the names of half the stuff anymore. But Jeremy knows all this stuff. Talk to Jeremy sometime. Write him an email. He could tell you. If he had the time, and he doesn't, because he's got a kid and a dog and a girlfriend, not necessarily in that order. He's a busy man. But I can't even get him on the phone to get on with me on nights he's not on with me at football. You always get this, your phone is busy, and, I call him up, and he's out playing pool, hustling pool, stealing cue balls, and selling them on eBay, used cue balls. He probably has a used cue ball concession for Minneapolis. I don't know. But I would love to have him I'd love to have him and Abram do a video cast with me. And I'd love to have him live here. And when I go back east eventually, I will stop off in Minneapolis. So, yes, and we will have a special shoot. We will have Kix, Frankenberries, Blueberries, and what's those other things? Count Chocula, that's it. And the other brand, but we'd have to have all of them. Cocoa Puffs, Cocoa Krispies, anything cocoa, come down from the ceiling. So... Well, remember, Jeremy, I don't drink much beer, but I will be going to the fine German restaurants, the Ratskellers, and having mass quantities of schnitzel and the sausage and the Sockertorte, fine German food. So I will drink Spaten then, but I only drink 1 or 2 beers because then I'd look at you, fall on the floor in helpless laughter, and wake up with a headache from hell the next day. So... I'm going to be going to Minneapolis. But not in the winter. I am not going when there's, 97 inches of snow on the ground and the statue of Mary Tyler Moore is turned into a Smurf. So I will drink some beers, but I get drunk on 2 beers. So you're not going to see me sitting there with a pitcher of beer going, Now, if it's peach snap, oh, no, I'm not going to have 13 beers, Jeremy. I always knew it, you're drunk. That's your problem. Yeah, Kix Colada, that's what you'll make there. Pina colada made with Kix. He works for General Mills, which is why I tease him about Kix all the time. But he's a dear friend. How's the kid, the dog, and the girlfriend? Not necessarily in that order. So, that's what goes on there. But I intend to go to Pittsburgh, and on the way back, I will stop in Minneapolis, try to get Jeremy online live, and also try to get Justin. Justin said he will appear live one day, so as opposed to dead. And then I will fly if I can. I would like to set him up so Pittsburgh, then Minneapolis, and then go to the Apple Fest in Kansas City. So that way, but I'd have to be gone about 2 weeks, and I'd have to have the. I would hope to have the complex built so someone who watches and feeds the cats. That's the big problem. Who's going to take care of the kitties? So I can easily drink probably about 8 Snapples. So the eyes drive me crazy. I cannot see small print. I can't read a damn book. I need better light. If I put it under light, I can see the print, but the doctor says that the left eye will adjust and all that stuff, but I go out and 1 minute I can see license plates and cars clearly, and the next minute it's blurred. And the same thing with all my books in here. So I forgot to wear the sunglasses today when I'm out cat feeding, and I was seeing glowing squares in front of my eyes. And another wonderful thing, after they worked on my left eye, the floaters in my eye are back. So that's driving me nuts too. And Jeremy hasn't seen this unless he's seen the video. The new alien head blinking away. I'm going to go in and turn him off because I don't want to wear down the batteries. So this is the Galaxy Pops alien head that I just got. Cost me about $40. It was on eBay. The only one in the world as far as I can tell because I can't find him anywhere. So, well, these are the ones the doctor gives me. Oh. And the problem is, when I operated on this eye, I started having light sensitivity, and now I got it in both eyes. So, never seen Hellraiser. That's Kathy's kind of stuff. She watches all those horror movies. I just go for the basic old school guys, the Frankenstein, Werewolf, and the Mummy, and the Wolfman, and the Family Opera, and the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Classic Universal Picture guys. So, I think the guys in the Matrix wear these too, but they probably wear Ray-Bans. These are just plastic sunglasses I got from the doctor. Although, and they're they're kind of tight on my head. I have a 7 3/4 head size, so it's difficult. The other ones, the lens keeps falling out, and I have to sit down and crazy glue them. And I missed it. We haven't done our baseball yet. Soon baseball season will be coming, and I have to get hold of Jeremy if he ever answers his phone, and we'll have to do a baseball preview for the next baseball season, 2018 baseball. Excuse me. And the Pirates in Athlon, I think it's called, Baseball Register said they're going to do Fort. So now Germans tend to have big heads, or at least some of them do. Of course, I've always wondered about them. My mother was 5'2", my dad was 5'8", and I'm 6'2" with a big head. So yeah, let's see if we can do that in the next week or two, because I'm, frankly, I can't use the word I want to do, but I'm bored to death here. there's only so much YouTube, and now that I can't read right until I get the doctors, I have to go get reading glasses. And I thought the damn surgery would get rid of the having glasses at all. I couldn't find the other glasses. I was going to do something, and I will do that on the future video. So I don't know if they would, what I want to do would work, but yeah, let me know and email Jeremy when you're available between 3:01 and 3:02 a.m. on February 29th, 2020. I had contact lenses for one day, but the problem is that I could not see the small print on my Mac. So that was over with. They would have cost me they were removable. They would have cost me $250. I had astigmatism and nearsightedness. So, and before they operated on the other side and put the lens in on the right eye, it was 20/50. That's now 20/20. The problem is the left eye is what controls the focusing and why I'm having trouble seeing. Now, I can see, if I go this close to my iPad from where I'm sitting in my chair, I can see everything on the iPad. I can see everything on my Mac. The typeface is cranked up like crazy. That was sarcasm, Jerry. I figured that's the only time you'd answer the phone. Every time I call him, Lauren is available now. Please leave a message. The party you have called is not available. Please leave a message. And he never picks up his damn phone. So that's aggravating. And somebody else doesn't do that either. So I hate voicemail for that reason. Pick up the phone. And when you call a bank, our operators are busy and we are experiencing high call volume. Wait a minute, is that true or are you BSing me? Let me check that out, because I don't want any jokes made about people dying if it's not true in here. And here's another problem. I'm going to Google search and I'm not seeing the window working. My Mac is, it starts going to the wheel of death. All right, hold on. So please don't put fake news stories on my channel. He has got Lou Gehrig's disease. So I'm always amazed that he's alive. Oh my God, he has died. Well, thank you for that. That was the smartest man in the world, supposedly. All right, let me get back to the channel. I'll have to... it's amazing that he lived this long. And he had problems with his wife because he could not be the man he wanted to be because of his ailment. So, you know, how you like to be in a wheelchair and have to talk with a speech modulator because you can no longer speak. And the thing with ALS, like with Lou Gehrig, you lose the ability to breathe. It's all controlled by machinery, and eventually you stop breathing. So, in some ways, that's a blessing. He no longer has to deal with that. But he was a brilliant physicist and, you know, a brilliant man. I have his ALS, like with Lou Gehrig. There's me talking away. I have his book, A Brief History of Time, and some other books. So rest in peace. No, I never met him. He was in England. So I would like to. And he's even been parodied on Futurama and The Simpsons, and you know, he's an institution. He's gone, and so. But the man was brilliant. He just had a body that was messed up, but the mind was still there. And by the way, he said that he didn't he did not want us to contact aliens for fear of alien invasion. So. Yeah, he was on Star Trek playing poker. Isaac Newton, him, Data, Worf, I think Deanna Troi, and Riker. So that was fun. That was fun to watch. I remember that episode. Thank you. So rest in peace, Mr. Hawking, and your intellect will be missed. We've only a Hawking, an Einstein, a Carl Sagan. people like that with physics only come along once in a lifetime. I also have several Michio Kaku's books. Hockey game. Hockey game. So, well, thank you, Thunderbird, for that news. That's distressing. I'm saddened by that, but I appreciate it. But people will troll and say things that aren't true. Didn't mean to pick on you, and I apologize. I'm really surprised at that news, because, but eventually your whole body, your breathing and heart and nerves and everything start to screw up when you got ALS. And the late Senator Jacob Javits had ALS. I would prefer, The Undertaker creeps me out. Now, mind you, I haven't watched wrestling in ages. I watch Raw sometimes, and it's so dumb now. It's not like the old days, where I would go out there, Bruno Sammartino, Bobo Brazil, they would wrestle. Now it's all theater. And guys yelling at each other, and I'm going to, tear your head off, and, I'm going to kill you next week, and all this stuff. And I get tired of that. I want to see wrestling. Shut the hell up and wrestle. So, wait a minute. Queen Elizabeth, the mother, the Queen Mother? Because last I knew, Queen Elizabeth hadn't died. If she's died, I haven't heard of either. I haven't been watching the news. I haven't been able to see the news. And I would think that Fox would have told me if Queen Elizabeth II had died. So I would root for John Cena or Cena. I think he's a former soldier, veteran. I'm not sure, and I know he's in movies. So let me see if I want. Yeah, there I am. There I am on the screen with the alien head. So, 2 hours of babbling here has now crossed the threshold into the 3rd hour. Yeah, some Universal Soldier remake or something. I don't know what the hell it was. Remember, I used to watch Sergeant Slaughter when he was a villain, and Sergeant Slaughter when he was a good guy, and Hulk, and Andre the Giant, and Iron Sheik, and Nikolai Volkov. I think there were 2 guys there. In fact, Steve Allen used to be a wrestling announcer back in the 40s, and he talks in his book about Gorgeous George. So, and I used to watch Championship Wrestling in Washington, D.C. We lived there, and of course, Championship Wrestling in Pittsburgh. I think the NWA was there back in the day, and there was the AWA. And then there was Roddy Piper, Rick Rude, Brutus Beefcake. These are guys from the 70s and 80s. You may not know who some of these guys are. And Junkyard Dog. I think Junkyard Dog had a kind of a parrot or something. So, I like Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper was cool. Oh, yeah, and there was the late guy from San Francisco, whose name is in the back of my brain. He just died recently, and I cannot remember his name, but he was a wrestler from the 60s, 70s, 80s, into the 90s. Then there were guys I didn't like the Hearts and their cheesy manager. Oh, God, what was that guy's name? Might have been Rick something. I don't remember. Yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage and his wife, and Miss Elizabeth, and oh, the other one that was weird, I think he's the weirdest guy other than The Undertaker I ever saw, was George the Animal Steel, who would eat the turnbuckle away. That guy was just whacked. And oh God, what the hell is his name now? If it wasn't Rick, let me look that up. Bay Area wrestler. Let me look that up. I'm trying to remember his name. Problem is, there's so many wrestlers over the last 40 years that, you know, Ray Stevens, I think it was. Was that it? I think that was his name. Let me. God, I can't see my damn. I think that was his name. Yeah, Ray Stevens. Ray Stevens. That was him. Yep. He died 1996 in Fremont. He's from West Virginia. Used to watch Ray Stevens back in the day. And Pat Patterson, that was another one. And then there's the weird Bobby the Brain Heenan, who I never liked. So there's your Ray Stevens. Wrestling knowledge coming out of the back of my brain cells. And I do look weird with these glasses on. Don't know Big Pop. Jimmy Steamboat, Jimmy Snuka. Vince McMahon screwed Bret Hart. Yeah, well, there's all kinds of stuff. There's shenanigans going on with the WWE. Formerly the WWF. I think the World Wildlife Fund should have left them alone. I used to watch every year. When I didn't watch it live, I would go down to the video store and rent WrestleMania. And like people do today, where you watch, what's that thing, binge watching, or whatever the hell they call it. I would sit there and watch like 87 hours of WrestleMania. Get a bowl of popcorn, my drinks, and lie in bed, put the VCR in, the DVD. I'd go down to Blockbuster, and they had a whole section of Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, and it was all wrestling. And I would go rent like sometimes 10 of them and just do nothing but, do this for 3 days or so, or a week. Just like when I binged watched The X-Files and watched, or The A-Team, or Hogan's Heroes, and you watch like 70 until you can't look at the screen anymore. You're not going to go to bed. I'm in bed. But I would watch a lot of wrestling. And, yeah, Rick Rude was another guy. Naked wrestling video. I never saw naked wrestling, and I'm not going to do naked wrestling, so don't even bring that up. No naked wrestling for me. Nikolai Volkov used to come out with the Russian flag and stand on the ropes and sing the Russian national anthem, and then Sergeant Slaughter would come out and they would chant USA, and then when Sergeant Slaughter was a bad guy, and then, the black guy. There was a black guy I really loved. I think he was the one with the parrot. Coco Beware. So, no, I do not watch naked wrestling. So let's put this officially. In fact, I didn't even know there were naked wrestling videos. So, first I've heard of that. It's not that. First of all, I'm not going to tell you my personal predilection, my private video viewing. It's none of your business. But I can't watch things I've never seen. And if I did watch it, I wouldn't get to say anything. It's not, it's private. But I've never watched a wrestling video because I didn't know they existed. Naked wrestling video. Also have seen Mexican wrestling where they all wear masks and they have a lot of little people, or formerly called midgets, doing wrestling. They have all these guys with capes. They look like they do these movies in Mexico where the guy fights vampires and stuff. That was very big in the 60s. El Supremo de Another thing that's funny is when I would watch wrestling on Univision, or the other Mexican channel, the other Spanish language, wouldn't understand a word they were saying. naked midget wrestling. No, no, no. Now there's a thought. Naked midget wrestling, and they come in driving midget cars. You know, those little cars they race in. But it's fun to watch Mexican wrestling. I can't understand a damn word, but they come in with these elaborate outfits with silver and sequins. They got a mask, and it's like, you know, El Gorgonzola or something. But they would do these, they'd be fighting vampires and werewolves and the mummy, and the guy would, you know, okay, hello, Sam. No, here's the deal with the caretaker. He came in, took me to his wife took me to the store and took Fuzzy to the vet, and I got to call the vet tomorrow because Fuzzy is still coughing after my paying $170 for shots, and she's still sick. But I didn't have the cleaning equipment, the supplies I needed, paper towels, Comet, soap pads, Lysol, bleach, whatever I needed. I did almost all my laundry. It's still stacked up in boxes, but I've been too tired and not able to see. It's all going to be put away. It's stacked like cordwood in the hallway. But I don't want him coming in here and cleaning until I have everything that he needs. And he told me he needs cleaning supplies, but we really didn't get a chance to discuss what. Christopher, there he goes, another supporter. Thank you, Christopher. And I keep getting sick over the last 3, 4, 5 years. I just asked my doctor. I don't know. It wasn't raining earlier, but it's supposed to rain here for a week. I don't hear anything. Yes, I know. Cutie. Hello, Cutie. I keep getting sick from sinus infections. I'm allergic to grass. There's a huge lawn in front of my, underneath my balcony. And every time I go out on the bus, the minute I leave Martinez, I'm fine. The minute I come back and get off the bus, I start gagging and choking from the grass. So this is one reason why my house has been so messy. I be lying there, coughing up mucus, blowing my nose, having stuff come out. It's disgusting. No. No. 1, Kathy snores when she sleeps. 2, she kicks the bed when she sleeps. 3, she bitches about the bed. She bitches about Ratty Patty. She complains about things. I love her dearly. We have lived together 6 times on and off. We cannot live together. Flonase, it's like drinking. It's horrible. It doesn't do anything. The only thing that ever worked for me somewhat was Allegra. But the problem is, I don't know what an Asiago face is. It sounds like a sandwich at Jack in the Box. No, I've not done the mold test. Look, I've been dealing with my eyes. I just had surgery. No, are you crazy? Ratty Patty and Kathy should move in and pay rent. No. I have enough Ratty Patty. Ratty Patty and I hate each other's guts. Not going to live here. There's no room for 3 people in here. And if I had a third person, I'd rather have Abram or Jeremy or somebody in here than Ratty Patty. Almost anybody. A dead guy would be better than Ratty Patty. No. Ratty Patty, as far as I'm concerned, is a moron. And she keeps doing one-upman stuff on Kathy. Kathy subscribed to Women's World, and I have shown pictures of Ratty. She's overweight. She's in her 60s. She's not attractive. But I don't get started on that. Let Kathy tell the Ratty Patty stories. I have to hear them on the phone all the time. They're ready to rip my ears off and eat them or something because I can't take any more Ratty Patty stories. If Kathy does something, then Ratty Patty will go, oh, I did that too, but I did it this way. So you're insulting Rasputin. I'm waiting till after the 1st till this thing on my eyes settle down. I can see what the hell I'm doing. I've got to direct him to clean. He's going to come in and clean the bathroom. He's going to come in and clean the kitchen. That's why I did my refrigerator. I want to get that done. He's going to come in and clean the kitchen counters. He's going to come in and clean the stove, the cabinets. Then we're going to vacuum. Then we're going to fold up the sofa bed. And then he's going to go around to all the bookcases. We straighten the bookcase up, we dust them, and then I'll see about getting things organized. So it took me 3.5 years to get a provider, and they only give me 18.5 hours a month. I've been fighting to get more than that. If I have to, on the end of this channel, when this publishes, I will put the PayPal link in the description. Well, first of all, I can't marry Kathy because she is still married. And the haters say I'm fooling around a married woman. That's one, there's none of her business. Her husband abandoned her, and she hasn't seen him for something like 15 years. But she's not divorcing him because her husband's mother owns a lot of property, and Kathy feels that maybe she can get some money if she dies. They would have to pay her something, because my father's family, some of them died. My mother got a cut out of that. She got $13,000 for a house they owned, and that's the reason why Kathy. But she didn't know who the guy is. So we're together, but she had. Well, I'm blocking you because you just made me want to puke. So you're going to get a timeout because that was sickening. He said Ratty Patty could be a French maid outfit. I would vomit for days. No. And by the way, Kathy's the one in the Inuyasha. I am not in the Inuyasha. And there would be complications. We're both on Social Security disability. I don't know if that might affect our benefits. We cannot live together. We've talked about getting married in the past. We talked about getting married 25 years ago. You can't take care of me. You didn't make enough money then. I sure as hell don't now. But we cannot live together. We drive each other nuts. We love each other. No living trust. I don't know. She owns 6 or 7 or 8 houses and some apartment buildings and all that. And her husband he would go out and snort drugs and drink. So that's why she finally kicked him out. Kathy couldn't take it anymore. Couldn't take the uncertainty. He would go and spend the paycheck on drugs and booze. So she finally said, goodbye. She hasn't, I got a hangnail. Drive me nuts. She hasn't physically seen him, as far as we know. But she doesn't even remember where the house is. It's been so damn long. She hasn't seen him in 12 or 15 years, something like that. If he does die, she could collect on his Social Security if he were old enough. I know it will go into probate. You know, Cutie, I am aware of some things. I was the de facto executor of my mother's estate. So you don't have to tell me about certain things. I know a lot about things. I've had to deal with a lot of stuff in my life. I watch Scorpion every week. It's it's a guilty pleasure. I know guys like that who are on Scorpion. Everybody on that show, except for Paige and the little short-haired blonde chemist that lives next door. I've known all those people. Nerd types who are very intelligent. It's kind of like the A-Team if you're into computers or you're a kind of a nerd. No, I'm not going to send him an 8-ball. Besides, if Kathy won big money, she might give me some money. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot something. Thank you for reminding me of this. I did meet Raymond Burr. I haven't thought about that in 30 or 40 years. Raymond Burr hit my mother's car. Uh-oh. Something's wrong here. Hold on. Oh, my God. I have to stop for a minute. Something's wrong. I think I may have hit the power switch with my foot. I did hit the power switch, I think. Hold on. Hard to hit the power switch if you can't see the power switch. Something will happen here just now. Oh, The damn charger thing came out of the charger. Okay, there we go. My mother had a 1965 Chevy Bel Air, something convertible, yellow. And she had just bought it. And she's a California polk by the Royal Theater in San Francisco. And I'm in the car with her. And Raymond Burr is turning off of California onto Polk, or my mother was turning off of Polk onto California. He hits my mother's brand new car. So me being a little snot-nosed and somewhat obnoxious and abrupt kid, I got out. And before he said a word, I said, I don't care if you are Perry Mason. What are you going to do about my mother's car? That was like 1965. She bought a brand new 1965 yellow convertible. When we moved to Vegas, my dad got drunk and he forged her name and sold it and took off. He always did. And no, Raymond Burr was gay and he had a long time. And I know in the back of the name the fellow, and his winery is closed. It's one of those things I would have loved to go see. It was a beautiful winery, the Raymond Burr Winery. But and he was taken aback. He didn't know what to say. Before my mother could say anything, they exchanged information, and my mother's car was repaired. It was a minor fender bender. So I have no issue with being gay. Of course, you didn't know he was gay then, but he was Perry Mason and then Ironside, which I watched every week. But it was very funny that, I chewed out Raymond Burr. You hit my mother's car. She had just bought it. It was like $3,000 cash at Alex Brooks, and one of those now, yellow Chevy Bel Air convertible. I think it was a Bel Air, or an Impala would have been about 50 grand now, 25 to 50 grand. Oh, that's my mobile strike notification. So, yeah, he had a long-time partner. He was married at one time. He was Canadian. Served in the military, I believe. Well, great character actor. So I don't care if someone's gay. I'm getting tired of people telling me someone's gay, lesbian, transsexual, homosexual, bisexual. Does that make you better or worse than a straight person? No, it just means your sexual preference. So I look at who they are as a person. I don't remember. I'd have to look at his biography. A number of years ago, I went into the DMV at Kathy, and I have an issue all right, let me show you my leg. I know I'm not naked, nor am I wrestling naked wrestlers. All right, let's see if I can get this. Hold on, where's the damn light? I gotta get this light fixed so I can see what I'm doing. Right around here on my leg, if you can see that, I cut my leg open accidentally with an X-Acto knife while I was building a model one night. And ever since then, there are spikes of pain in that spot. I went to the hospital and was bleeding like crazy. They glued it together with crazy glue. And I get spikes of pain go down my right leg to that spot. Well, one night I'm sitting at home and I let out this scream because a spike of pain ran down my leg. Now, it may be my back because I have 3 crushed discs in my spine and 1 bulging disc. So I went to the DMV the next day to get paperwork done for whatever we were doing. And standing in line with Kathy, and I will not say the word I said, but I said, last night I had a spike of pain in my leg that was so bad I thought I had an effing stroke. Well, the clerk there overheard me say the magic word stroke, and before we ever got to the window, she started typing to the DMV that I had the driver and said my name and had my birth date and all that. So I handed my ID. She started typing I had a stroke. And she reported to the medical division of the DMV, and they suspended my license because I had a stroke, even though I'd never had a stroke. And I have 2 letters sent to the DMV saying I've never had a stroke. And now my current doctor, my new doctor, does not want to, they have the paperwork for the DMV, they do not want to certify me as not having a stroke until they're certain of not having a stroke, and they say I have high cholesterol. So I've heard the name somewhere. But I do have survivalist magazines here and survivalist books, and I'm now going to be subscribing to several survival, and there's a bunch of others, survivalist magazines. I do not have the body to be a survivalist unless I win a lot of money doing something and lose a lot more weight. But Abram is a survivalist of sorts, and he will teach me everything I need to know, I'm sure. He grinded out my couch. If he can grind out a couch, he can probably grind out a tree with his bare hands or something. I don't know. So anyway, I haven't had a car for a long time, but I can't get my license back until... I didn't have a doctor for a long time. I wasn't getting any medical care at all. I wasn't sick. No need to. But they won't certify me. They won't certify... Lucky Farrell's just somebody liked my comment. They won't certify me as being able to drive, and then I have to take a written test and an eye test, and it pays $75, and I refuse to do the written test for something that never happened. So I've gone to my state assemblyman, eventually I'm going to go to my state senator, and get them to talk to the DMV and throw the whole thing out once I'm certified as being able to drive. So that's why I don't drive. If Jason Callan said that, he's full of crap. I have books on the history of the SEALs. I have every book Richard Marchenko ever wrote, including his autobiography. I know what buds are, and that's before the SEALs. They were. Hello? What was that? Something was when Bing, and I don't know what it was. I didn't see it. I just heard it. That was deep sea diver types. So no, frogmen. So, no, this is not problematic. I haven't been able to drive for 12 years because of this jerk who wouldn't mind their own damn business. So, I was not in buds. I've never been in the military. A little hard to be in the Navy SEAL or pre-SEAL when you've never been in the military. So, if Jason Callan really said that, he's a liar. But I don't want to get started on Jason Callan and have his haters start attacking me again. Have his fans start attacking me again. And as for Stephen Hawking was gay, I don't care. He's married. He has children, for God's sakes. And Prince, I don't know. I don't care. I never listened to Prince. He's dead. Another one who died of a drug overdose. But the problem with these agencies, they have power over you, and once they've decided something, nothing will move them unless you have paperwork. I had 2 doctors sign the paperwork. I sent it in. Nothing ever happened. So I've got to go back a second time and say, here's the paperwork. I'm not... And they're very arrogant on the phone. No. Well, that's cool. I'll have to look into that. My problem is my back, knees, feet, ankles, how much survive. That's one thing that's always bugged me about weightlifting and stuff, and Men's Journal, Men's Fitness. They always have guys that look like they've never had an ounce of fat on their bodies in their lives, and they're telling me how to lose weight. I went, really fat guy, Men's Fitness. How you can lose weight by not eating macaroni and cheese for 6 months or something. I'm being sarcastic, but they don't apply to me. It's like watching the Olympics. I can't... there's another comment from Lucky Farrell's. I can't relate to the Olympics because they don't do anything I can do. Now, you try to carry a bag of books and 6 cans of cat food 4 blocks after you've done cat feeding and try to avoid the rain, that I can relate to. Or a paper bag full of groceries in Safeway where the handle breaks, you still got to walk 4 blocks. But some guy doing luge or bobsledding or skiing, I don't do any of that stuff. I won't even watch it because it's like you've seen one skier, you've seen them all. I watch bowling. I can relate to bowling. I watch golf. Never golf, but I can relate to it. I don't watch tennis. I don't watch soccer. I don't watch Australian rules football. I I watch baseball and football. No, I did not see the O.J. Simpson interview. I thought I saw something about he said he didn't do it, or he said he did do it, but, you know, it's water under the bridge. The man was acquitted. They should have left him alone. He only got sent to prison because of, you know, he committed the crime supposedly of killing his ex-wife and some guy was a waiter. But to me, once you've been acquitted in court, that's it. It's over. Leave the guy alone. Let him rest. Look at poor Robert Blake. They hounded him for years and tried him, I think, more than once for the murder of his wife. When they finally found out that he wasn't even out there shooting her, he was still in a restaurant or something. So, I'm not sure about MRAs. Well, that's Jewish is to some a nationality, but that's religion also. We are German, Slovakian, Hungarian, Lithuanian, Japanese, with also a touch of more in my background from Spain with Alexander Dumas. Okay, that's a troll comment. Will McKella, I am blocking you. I'm not going to have troll-type comments in my room. If I can block you, if it won't let me block you, then I'm in trouble. Hold on. Oh, God. Well, that's not working. That's fun. All right, I have to hide chat and come back. I will be... For some reason, there's times where I hide chat and then it doesn't work. I am not going to have insults come in. Well, that's not working at all now. Wait a minute. I'm not going to have people put troll-like comments in here. I will not allow it. I love my kitties. I've had these cats for 12 years. I've had cats for 40 years. Oh, now the damn thing is locking up. So, this is because I need a new computer desperately, and Firefox is doing this spinning wheel of death again. If you're going to leave comments like that, don't. No, the iPad's fine. I could use a new iPad. My other one was stolen, but you're gone. Bye. I do not hurt kitties. I love kitties. I feed 13 or 12 or 13 cats. I'd have to add them up. It costs me a lot of money, a lot of my time. I could be doing other things. I've had people saying, the haters, I kill cats, I abuse cats, and they've attacked my cats, they've attacked my girlfriend. I'm sick and tired of it. If you're going to go on this channel and do that, you're kicked out. And if I get mad enough, you'll never be on this channel again. I don't have to do videos. I don't have to do live streaming. I could be doing other things like putting away my laundry, cleaning my kitchen, sleeping, reading a book with a better light, taking a walk, cuddling my kitties, getting Fluffy and little girl in here to eat, cooking my dinner. I don't need the aggravation. All right, sorry, I've vented now. Excuse me for disrupting the stream. But in any event, that's in my. We also, I forgot, Japanese on my father's side. And on his father, his parents were from Hungary and the former Czechoslovakia. So, and we had relatives in East Germany that died during the war, and some were still living in Eastern Germany after the war when it became communist. I don't eat expired food because with my luck it would go bad and I'd get sick or something or die. Well, no one's commenting now, so and then I get the haters, you need to have a thicker skin. Why should I tolerate insults? So I'm not going to do that. And I don't find saying you get cats from a Chinese restaurant funny. That's an old joke. It's a bad joke. It's in bad taste. You go out and look in my living room. There's cat food there right now. I just got a $30 bag from Chewy of Good Life, so that my cats every day I leave 2 bowls of dry food for Mama Cat and Kitten and Papa Cat and Fluffy and Little Girl and any other kitty wants to come up to eat. And unfortunately, raccoons and possums come up to eat that too. And this one bully cat, tuxedo cat, he's very fat, but he pushes the other kitties out of the way of their food and eats all the wet food. I wouldn't be doing that if I didn't care for cats. And I care for animals. I like dogs too, but I can't have a dog because of my knee. So, I may have just disrupted the whole stream here because no one's talking. And I don't want to get mad at people. I don't want to have to block anyone. But I'm not going to tolerate, after doing this for 7 years and being online, and hell, going back further than that to the days of bulletin board systems. I've been on the internet a long time. I'm a veteran, and I don't need to be insulted. No, I feed the outdoor cats Friskies. I feed the indoor cats Fancy Feast. Now, the Good Life, I threw the bag away, so I can't tell you what's on the bag, but it's very good dry cat food made by Mars, who make your Milky Way and your Three Musketeers. They own a cat food division. Had no problems with it. Fuzzy has a problem with throwing up hairballs, but the other day, Fluffy threw up a hairball. So, they're long-haired cats. I miss me on Coast to Coast, too. But okay, let's see. I have Little Girl, Fluffy, Fuzzy, Mama Cat, Papa Cat, Kitten, that's 6. Orangey, Squeakies, Original Pretty One, three orange cats, that's 8. Gray, no, that's 10. I've moved out of fingers here. And Pretty One, that's 11. Tiny One is 12, and the beautiful little Siamese Talkie, 13 cats. And in January, I spent $125 on wet and dry food. And on an income of $910.40 a month, that's a lot of money to spend feeding cats. The 3 downstairs showed up about 5 years ago. I used to feed Orangey at this building. He used to play with my kitties, but I have a maniac in this building who chased him out of the building. So I have to take a long, circuitous walk every day on the way to the post office. That's where I got the alien head today. I stop and feed Tiny One and Talkie. I'm going to try to give Talkie, he's very shy, but he's very sweet. Lets me pet him all the way every day. Rubs against my tummy. No, I don't walk my cats. I can't walk me on a cane. Why would I walk cats on a leash? My feet go numb because of my sciatic nerve pressing on the spine presses that sciatic nerve and the crushed disc, and that makes my feet go numb. Doesn't mean I couldn't drive, but yes, I was on Coast to Coast AM. My videos are still on the site. I also did a television pilot with George Norrie 2 years ago and interviewed him. And he owes me another interview. We're friends still. I didn't hear about Slender Man. I haven't listened to Coast for about 3 weeks. I've been dealing with the surgery stuff. I could be. I've had cats walk up to me and nuzzle me. I've had dogs walk up to me. I don't like Dave Schrader. I don't like any weekend host except George Knapp. And I liked John B. Wells. And I didn't like the other guy that used to be on there. He's a minister. I didn't like him. Yeah, well, the problem with the GoPro, it's in the pawn shop in Oakland. I haven't had the money. Anybody wants to give me $125 to get it out, I'll get my GoPro 3 out. They have a bunch of GoPro 4s there. I want to get a GoPro 6. They have stabilized. Yes, George Norrie, your friends. We sat in conventions. We've, we've done email. I've talked to him on the phone many times. He's called me on the phone in my living room while I'm lying on the sofa bed. He's called me. So, and Art knows me. Art Bell knows me. He's been on podcast, and we've talked, and we've emailed each other. I haven't talked to Art in a long. He never called me on the phone, but we've talked back and forth in email. He knows me. I go way back in the paranormal field, and if I got up the other day and showed people my paranormal. I have close to 500 paranormal books now. I used to have 5,000. In the description, thought I blocked you. How did you get unblocked? Wait a minute. Oh, that was Will McKella. I'm sorry. Can't see who the hell I'm looking at because of these damn sunglasses. And if I take them off, then I can't see because my eyes are sensitive. What was the question, folks? I have a fake mustache, a big mustache that Kathy broke the elastic to. I used to make fun of George Norrie. That's how he noticed me. George Norrie is real. George Norrie's mustache is real. And I'll tell you something. George Norrie has been very supportive of me. He likes me. I like him as a person. He's a very nice person, and so is Art. I miss Art Bell's Ghost to Ghost too. I have them on my computer. George Norrie's Ghost to Ghost are not the same. Larry King used to do live radio on Mutual, and they brought in Jim Bohannon. I had to think of my Jims here. We got the Jim from Paranormal, another Jim. Jim Bohannon is not Larry King. And Art Bell is a radio legend, and George Norrie may be a radio legend one day too. But you don't bring in a 90 average hitter when Ted Williams is up in the bottom of the ninth in the World Series with 2 outs and the bases loaded. No, I don't know Larry King, but I listen to Larry King. Larry King was on Mutual for years, late night. He was the king of late night talk before even Art Bell. So, I don't know. I don't care. As far as I know, George Norrie doesn't smoke, doesn't have any health issues. We've never discussed George Norrie's health issues. He knows mine. I have asthma and COPD. Art Bell's life would make a great movie, but the problem is they had to get permission from his family, and I doubt that's ever going to happen, at least while Art's alive. I don't know Knapp. I would love to know Knapp. I haven't called Knapp at all because I can never get through. But I listen to George Knapp every time I can. I did have a stream link with Coast, and I haven't had that for a while because of money issues. I will eventually get Streamlink. If I ever go to Vegas, and if you ever had the time to see me, I'd see if I could hook up with George. I would love to interview George Knapp. And he does one thing, not paranormal. He is protesting the federal government killing and sending the wild horses to Mexico to turn them into dog food. That's horrible. You're supposed to take care of the animals, not exploit them. And, there's too many animals, we can't take care of them. And they won't take them to ranches or rescue organizations. They're just rounding up the wild horses and killing them. I only know Heather Wade by reputation, and I don't want to discuss Heather Wade. So please don't. Look, the last 2 streams have been knocked off the air. I don't want to start discussing people from a certain site or Heather Wade or trolls. So please don't bring that up. Thank you. I think a long time ago I may have called Larry King. But I've called Art Show once or twice. I've called Norrie a lot. I'm a little annoyed that I published excerpts on YouTube and a video of my calls to Coast. I got a copyright strike for it. That irritated the hell out of me. Can't even record my own damn phone call. I think it's a good idea. You have to talk to these people. If we had talked to Hitler, if FDR or Churchill had gone to Hitler in 1939 instead of Chamberlain, we might not have had World War II, although I doubt it. But you can't, someone who comes off the surface of being a nut, who's threatening to nuke his neighbors, South Korea and Japan and Guam and the Philippines. You've got to go deal with this guy in person eventually. You can't just let him be isolated. And then he starts getting on. It's like having an ultimate paranoid living with you. And he keeps babbling, but he has a howitzer pointed at your living room window. You've got to deal with the guy with the howitzer. No, Hitler was going to do the Holocaust because he was pissed off at the Jews. Remember, in Vienna, he went to art school, and they said, your artwork is crap. Now, I rather like Hitler's artwork, but it so embittered me. He was poor and starving. And he went to Vienna because that's where you went if you want to be an art student. That was like going now to the Louvre or Sorbonne or the National Museum of Art, a Gallery of Art or something, or a Metropolitan Museum in New York. And I think so too. But the problem is you still have this anti-Trump faction and both parties that don't like him because he does what he wants, and the hell with what you think. That's why I voted for him. That's another guy I would love to meet, Donald Trump. Of course, if I met Melania, I'd probably swoon and faint because she's so gorgeous. But that's not a sexist comment. That's what she is. I would talk to Melania because she comes from that area where my family comes from. So it would be interesting to get, we never heard anybody, I don't think we've ever heard her talk about what it was like for her to grow up in Eastern Europe and all of that after communism. That would be fascinating. It'd be fun to interview her for that reason. Not because she's the first lady, but what was it like to live in where you came from? Why would you be afraid of Trump? Look, there's a problem with the president that people don't realize. A lot of the stuff that's said about him is lies. And this stuff, he hates foreigners, he hates blacks. I sat there during the periods where I was sick and coughing up stuff, watching live speeches everywhere he went across the country. He had blacks on stage, he had gays on stage, he had Latinos on stage. He doesn't like illegal aliens, he doesn't like illegal alien murderers, he doesn't like drug dealers, he doesn't like terrorists. All things the Democrats mamby-pamby on, mollycoddle. They love illegal aliens to get some votes. And if illegal aliens didn't come here and become Democrats, they would kick them out. But they won't. They won't tell you the truth of how they feel. The DACA people, there's 850,000 of them, not the anchor babies, that's another issue. With the chain migration and letting their families in, all their uncles, aunts, cousins, nephews, nieces, that could be 1.8 million potential Democratic voters. That's the only real reason they're for DACA. And yet, these people are violating our immigration laws and need to be sent out of the country. I don't care how long they've been here. I got sent an email, Justin, today, that El Salvadorians are suing Trump because the temporary program that they were allowed to come here when they had an earthquake in El Salvador 18 years ago, they're saying that their children are being discriminated against because Trump made comments. He called places the S word hole when he never said that. 2 Republican senators were sitting with him on each side of him and said, we never heard him say anything of that kind. We were in the White House in the meeting, but everybody reported that Trump said the word. There's lies said about Donald Trump all the time. Now, before he ran for president, you never heard very little anti-Trump stuff. He's a racist, a homophobe, a bigot, a xenophobe. He hates immigrants. He hates poor people. He hates blacks. Total BS. Look, if we build a wall and we got to leave this country, we're doomed. Where would we go? Mexico? Where the people live in metal huts or in cardboard boxes? Canada, where it's freezing? Where are we going to go? We're the United States of America. If the United States goes down, the world goes down. We feed 60% of the people in the world. Yeah, that's another thing. Haiti, that's another hellhole. They had an earthquake, and the Hillary Clinton and her brother went and took all the uranium out and made billions. Russians built a wall around Berlin, and those people lived in terror and in poverty and oppression for years until Ronald Reagan said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall, with the help of the Pope and Margaret Thatcher. So Trump is not going to kill people because of the wall. He's keeping illegal aliens out and trying to keep the drug dealers out. We have an epidemic of addiction in this country. Heroin addiction, pill addiction. And that's all because that stuff's coming across the border from Mexico. It's not coming across the border from Canada. Okay, you're at a timeout, Michael. Who shot JFK? How many people do you want? It was not Oswald. There's so much evidence it was not Oswald. It isn't funny. It might have been the guys in the grassy knoll. It might have been the guys by the train control area. It might have been a guy in a sewer grate. There's even evidence. I have read this. I've seen the stories. I've seen the videos where there were guys positioned on buildings across from the depository they were shooting at. Yeah, a guy in the storm drain. I read the entire Warren Commission report just like I started until my cataracts came in. I started reading the 9/11 report. Both reports are full of BS. The most likely guy has been Johnson, but he probably had help from the mafia. Definitely the CIA. Remember, JFK fired the head of the CIA. His brother was Secretary of State. He canceled the Big Pig invasion, or it went on, but he did not support it. That was an Eisenhower project that Richard Nixon was pushing. And his brothers started attacking the mafia, yet the mafia, with votes in Chicago, is what carried the election. JFK only won by 100,000 votes, and Nixon was told, you should fight this. And he said, no, it would destroy the country. I'm not going to do that, to Nixon's credit. But those were illegal votes in Chicago, probably dead people or something. And he was going to release it. Look, Kennedy fought with the steel companies. My mother worked for a man named Raoul E. Desrine. I don't have the money to buy this stuff. I finally found his book after 40 years of looking, called, I think it was called Radical Liberalism. He was a Republican lawyer who owned a steel company. He was a very anti-FDR. But I got told the stories. Kennedy got the steel companies pissed off. He got the railroads pissed off at him. Votes from the mafia were elected him. His brothers started going after the mob. He was going to work with the Russians on UFOs, but feared there would be an accidental nuclear exchange because UFOs were over sensitive areas, missile bases and stuff. He was also going to eliminate the Federal Reserve Bank. He had already started to publish U.S. notes, which were legal tender backed by silver and gold, which Federal Reserve notes weren't. J. Edgar Hoover was in it. He knew all the... You think J. Edgar knew about Roswell? We're only finding out about it today. And I haven't seen whatever the hell that Oliver Stone movie is. It's on the list of things to do one day. But Kennedy made a lot of enemies. It's like Trump. They were out to get Kennedy, and they killed him. Now, they couldn't probably get away with killing Trump today, because the people know stuff today. And the other thing, they believe the government then. They don't believe the government now. No, the truth will out eventually on the JFK assassination. We'll be dead by then because LBJ sealed the record for 50 years. Unless I lived to the age of 132 or something. Roswell come out too, but we have so many people who said they've seen bodies, they saw UFO fragments. Yeah, parade route was changed, the bubble top was taken off, all kind. They slowed down at the underpass after he was shot when normally they would speed up. The Zapruder film was edited, it went to Life magazine and then was not seen for years publicly. Another film was confiscated. Somebody shot footage and we never saw it. But remember, 9/11, planes supposedly hit the Pentagon. And yet, 2 video cameras at a 7-Eleven at a Marriott, The FBI confiscated the videos. They've never seen the light of day. Why? They have stuff to hide in these events. I saw a missile video. A missile hit the World Trade Center. A black missile. It wasn't a plane. A Channel 4 New York news copter was hovering over the hole that supposedly the plane went into. That video is off of YouTube now. It's gone. I can't find it. But I watched it. Yeah, Secret Service pulled off his car. Even John Connolly said that the bullet went through and flipped around and did all kind of, broke his wrists, his ribs, and everything else. There's so much. The autopsy was botched at Bethesda. Under Texas law, the autopsy was supposed to be performed in Parkland Hospital, and LBJ ordered the body be taken to Washington, D.C. instead. Building 7 had big fuel tanks in it. That right there, why did that building collapse almost immediately? And something else. A British news station said Building 7 collapsed like an hour before it collapsed. How would they put that on the air, knowing it's going to collapse before it collapsed? Are they psychic? Hoover knew dirt. My mother knew dirt. She's dead now. So, I don't think Hoover controlled the mafia because for years he didn't admit the mafia existed. He wouldn't admit our organized crime existed. Hoffa probably do stuff too, but Hoffa disappeared. You know too much, you disappear, you die. Or you meet a mysterious accident. Look at all the scientists dealing with immunology have died. Look at all the UFO researchers have died mysteriously. Paranormal researchers have died. They don't want the people to know the truth, and they think we're all sheep. Why do you think I wear the shirt, Got Conspiracies, or Conspiracy Theory Expert? No, I'm not an expert by any means in real life, but I wear that to make a point. I get stopped with that shirt more than any other shirt I wear. And I've been told things that I cannot tell I wouldn't tell in the air. I don't want to get killed. Or injured anymore. I already am. Been told stuff in confidence. I can't tell. Well, Hoover died in the 70s, so these UFO researchers have been dying in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, so I don't think Hoover killed. But we did have Frank Edwards dying of a heart attack. We had Morris K. Jessup dying in his garage of exhaust. Now, how do you put the exhaust in your car when you're already or at a park? I forget where he was. We've had other UFO researchers die under mysterious circumstances. So, remember, like the sign says behind me. Oh, that's not the one. Sorry. I'm going to get one of those one day. The truth is out there. But it's up to the people to demand they tell the truth. Bill Clinton he sent out, I think, Webb Hubble to find out two things, JFK and UFOs. He couldn't find anything out. And what happened? Webb Hubble was found dead in a Washington, D.C. park, 40 or 50 feet away from anything, middle of the park. No, Hoover did not run the CIA. John McCone and his successors ran the CIA. And that idiot Democratic Senator Frank Church gutted the CIA on our ability to do intelligence on the ground. That Pritzker suppose he says Americans are never ready for the truth. We always collectively care too much about ourselves, not life and science that exists there. You're probably right. But the problem is, you see, it's also the dumbing down of people and it's skepticism. I talk to so many people about subjects that I talk about here and in my videos, and they go, huh? They don't have a clue. They're not even aware of it. They don't know about alien abductions. They don't know about Bigfoot. They don't know about Chupacabra. They don't know about Slender Man. Because all they do is they go to work, they turn on CNN when they get home, or they turn on football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever the hell, soccer, whatever, I forgot NASCAR. That's the big. I do watch NASCAR sometimes. Clinton was a Rhodes Scholar, and he may have had something to do with Hoover. Remember, he's up there with the power elite. So the thing is that they're not aware of what we talk about. But part of it is, I want to change the phrase about a mind is a terrible thing to waste. I'm going to redo the phrase and say a closed mind is a terrible thing to waste. Now, we rank 35th in education for one huge reason. We have socialized schools with teachers that fill the students' brains with mush, that they are leftists, they don't tell the truth about American history, they condemn the United States, and we also have incompetent, there are very good teachers out there. We have a lot of incompetent teachers. That's why kids come out of school, they can't read, they can't write, they can't do basic math, they can't fill out a job application, and all they can do maybe is work on cars. I can't work on cars because of my arthritis in my hands, but I know everything in a car. But I never worked on cars as a kid because I didn't have anybody to teach me. I did wood shop and print shop. Not print shop, the program for the Mac and the PC, but print shop where I published stuff on a Gutenberg printer. But we have children that are graduating that are illiterate. Some of them become rap stars. I've read somebody that some rap star never got out of the 8th grade. And that's not anything against them, but that's criminal to have somebody go through 12 years of school and not know how to read or write. And we've spent billions of dollars on Head Start, which is supposed to have preschoolers, and they're still stupid. They still can't comprehend. And look at Leno or Letterman or somebody doing street interviews. Steve Allen did an interview in the 80s. He asked people, would you vote for a presidential candidate who is a practicing heterosexual? And it's some of the funniest answers in the world. But these people are morons. They don't know what a heterosexual is. I want to address that, Cutie. Cutie, you have too many stuff in your background that I'd rather not have that in a channel. So please don't. Well, I got to say something. Before Ronald Reagan came in, a passport was like $10, $20, or $30. Now it's $350. They jacked the price up. They jacked the little postcards you used to get that you would ask for a green return receipt like this. They were 10 cents. Now it's $6. It's money. Passports are expensive. And now they're going to have this real ID, and you have to go to the DMV and get that and get, a driver's license now. Not the test. I'm talking the physical piece of paper. It's $35. They've priced everything where the average guy who's working, he goes, I'm not going to leave the country. I can't afford $350. Well, that I don't know. I haven't seen that. That's interesting. Thank you for letting me know that. I'll have to look it up when I can see it. I can see things on my iPad. And somewhat on my Mac. Till I lost my storage, I used to have my passport, and it's Kibbit. No good anymore. The passports were cheap. Documents were cheap. They're doing this. It's partly, I think, also to control you. If they make it so expensive to travel, you don't travel. That means you're controlled. You're kept in the country. Now, I have no idea to go. I have no interest in going to the Middle East anywhere except Israel and Egypt. I have no interest in going to most of Asia except Hong Kong, the Philippines, and Australia, and maybe New Zealand. I would go to Russia, I'd go to Eastern Europe and Europe, but the only problem with I worry about France, Germany, Belgium, are you going to be blown up by terrorists when you get there? And for that matter, the United Kingdom. They had a thing last week where a guy was hit with an umbrella attack like they killed a spy in London years ago, and about 13 or 14 people went to the hospital because the chemical they used to try to kill him and his daughter, they got sick from it too. It's scary to go overseas now. You don't know what's going to happen to you. You can go to a hotel in Mumbai and terrorists will attack it. I wouldn't go to Africa, any country below Egypt, because there's all these Boko Haram and terrorist organizations. Somalia is a hellhole. Rhodesia is a hellhole. South Africa is turning into a hellhole. And certain countries in South and Central America are hellholes. I wouldn't go to Haiti. I wouldn't go to the Dominican Republic. I might go to Cuba for the historical interest, but that's a dictatorship. They have a very hard life in Cuba. Don't let the liberals tell you it's a post-Castro paradise, because it isn't. And parts of Mexico, horrible. Go to Canada. Not in the winter, because I don't like cold and snow. My body, my arthritis and bones and my chest are hurting. Yeah, we could have a cyber attack, but you know what? I think we would survive in the long run. My worry is the Chinese might try to invade us. They got enough troops. They got the biggest army probably in the world. A lot of our military stuff is hardened, a lot of it, but the commercial stuff is not hardened against cyber attack. Look at every time we turn around, Equifax, Asperian, not TRW, what's the TransUnion, banks, websites, financial sites. You can attack constantly. They're being attacked by the Russians, they're being attacked by the Middle East, the Iranians, they're being attacked by the Koreans. We need better IT security. We aren't getting it. But even if it's not the cyber attack, we could have an EMP pulse from the sun, and it could knock out the whole damn country. But remember, we live without the internet for years. But the problem is, all your banking data is sent over the internet now. Retail stores send their daily deposits and other things to satellites. Get sent to the main office. If they're a chain store like a Shell station or a 7-Eleven. All that's gone. Your banking would shut down. That's why I tell people, have cash put aside. Even if it's only a couple hundred, not gonna be, after about a week, your cash is not going to be any good if you go down to the 7-Eleven. The shelves we strip bare. Stockpile food. And they've passed a law now, an executive order, and that should be thrown out. The president has the right to come to your house and if you stockpile food, he can confiscate your food and they can take you away as a hoarder. Now, one thing the Democrats want to do, they want to ban all guns in this country. They want to take away the AR-15s. They want to take away the M16s. They want to take away the M1s. They're terrified of guns because the people with guns, if it comes down to us against the government, well, the average citizen would probably lose with the technology the Army has, the Navy, the Marines, the Coast Guard, whatever, the Air Force, Special Forces, but they sure as hell fight to the last man. And they are afraid of it. But they have an executive order that allows the government to confiscate fuel, food, anything. Friendly aliens that will not let us destroy ourselves with nukes. Oh, I'm getting tired. Well, the problem is there's supposedly 82 different varieties of aliens. Some of those are friendly to the Earth. Some of them are not friendly to the Earth. Some of them are neutral. Some are just observers, like the old Watcher in the Marvel comic books. And some of them are competing against each other. Some of them are directing us for positive ends, and some are directing us for negative ends. And if you believe some people, there are some where they're growing human organs in vats below Dulce, and then we have the reptilians who are eating us. So I don't know what to believe. The problem is, after you have what J. Allen Hynek called close encounters of the fourth kind, we have no direct physical evidence. I can hold up the Steve Jobs book. I know he existed, but I don't have any evidence there's a UFO out there. I believe it firmly because the preponderance of sightings and reports, close encounters of the first kind, second, third, and fourth is so overwhelming you have to believe it. I didn't know that either. It's Birnes. Nancy and Bill are friends. They were friendly to me, but the trolls threatened to attack them and their podcasts, and that's when we stopped being associated with them because they were terrified that their podcasts would be knocked off the air and their computers would be compromised. I have had friends' computers attacked because they know me. They've hacked into friends' computers. I've had people in the last chat claim their computers have been attacked. This is what the haters do. And I don't want to discuss the haters, but this is what happens to people who get involved in me because haters are nuts. They're insane. They're irrational. Not just the ones that don't like me, but in general. You hate because you are insane. You need help or you need to be put away. But I think there are malevolent aliens. Remember, we supposedly, the meeting at Holloman Air Force Base, we traded technology in exchange for the aliens getting the use of humans' DNA and organs. And when the Greys went overboard, that's when we fought a battle in Dulce. And I've heard numerous people on numerous podcasts and shows talk about that. That there was a war underground, and you know what? We lost. Well, the thing, you have protective aliens, they have to be friendly. If they're protecting the Earth from nukes, they're friendly. If they're not protecting the Earth from nukes, they're not friendly. I think also the fact there are nukes means that's why we don't have world wars anymore. No one's going to attack a country if someone can nuke your country. Yes, I do. I believe Candy Evans, the wife of Long John Nebel, was a CIA assassin too, on MK Ultra and all that stuff. Remember, these guys come out with these stories when they're getting close to dying. They have nothing left to lose. Yeah, screw it. If I die, what are they going to do to me? I'm dead. If I had had more money in the 70s, I could have gone and talked to Chuck Barris, and I'm sure I could have found out the truth about Chuck Barris. But life got in the way. I was with Kathy, and then I got evicted in 1980, 79, 80, and had to move to Sacramento. So, but I believe the guy. They did a movie about him. A lot of people don't. Even fiction has a grain of truth. The X-Files, there's a lot of stuff in there that's probably true. We'll never know about. I'm aware of it. I didn't see it. Now, if I were to go back in time, I knew someone that worked with Chuck Barris. I would have gone back and talked to that person and would have got an introduction to Chuck, and I would have found out. But then I probably would have been quiet about it, too. Frank, Hoover died in the 70s. Art Bell was doing radio in Okinawa or something in the early 70s. Where do you think Hoover... You think Hoover's immortal? He's still alive? I don't get it. Yeah, Gene the Dancing Machine. Remember Chuck Barris on the Gong Show used to come out there and dance like a crazy man. But he had some crazy people on there too, including the panelist. Hold on, I'm going to Google when Hoover died. Remember, they have accused Art Bell of being a CIA operative, a CIA disinformant. I don't believe it for a minute. Okay, hold on. And I used to hang around as a kid in the FBI building. I took the tours in the FBI building. I talked to a lot of agents as a kid. I never asked any pertinent questions because back then you believed the FBI was a rock-solid truthful organization. You didn't believe any corruption or anything. That was the myth of the FBI. They were incorruptible like the Untouchables. All right, Hoover died in he stopped being in office in 1972 under Nixon, and he died in May 1972, and finally Nixon got the courage or something to throw him out. So, but he had too much dirt on people. Remember, that was right around Watergate. So he's been dead now. My dad died in September of 72 and Hoover died in May. So we're talking 28, 30, 46 years. J. Edgar Hoover is not alive. And I would have to look up when Art Bell was in Okinawa, but I dare say it was in the late 60s or early 70s. Yeah, the unknown comic who is now bald and germophobic and does the suitcase show. I can't remember the name of the damn show. Howie Long, I think is his name. Where they bring out these briefcases and the girls dance around, and I cannot remember the name of the show. I only watched it once. But Hoover knew where all the dirty... They've released Roswell letters that practically confirm that there was Roswell. We didn't find about that 30 years ago. But then Frank Edwards and Donald Keough said we had crashed saucers other than Roswell. Ignored. Montana. There's a list of about 40 sites that crashed. Kecksburg, all over the place. The plains of St. Augustine, Corona, Michigan. There was a crash in Cape Girardeau where the evil one lives in 1942. The Italians had a crash. The Germans had a crash. Howie Mandel. Yeah, Howie Mandel. I thought Howie Mandel was the unknown comic. I could be wrong. The unknown comic was funny. He was funny. Whoever the hell he was. Who cares? When the people who are in these organizations get old, they have nothing else to lose, their families are dead, that's when they start telling the truth. But people don't believe because, show proof. We need proof. We need a flying saucer land on your head? Well, I don't believe it. Remember, if Art was in the Air Force, he was doing Armed Forces radio or a local station in Okinawa where he stayed on the air for a record. But I don't think he was doing the paranormal then. He was, as they say in the old days, he was spinning platters. He was playing records. Maybe some comedy. But he wasn't doing, oh, I saw a UFO last night. I saw a chupacabra on the Ginza, in Japan. He might have talked Godzilla. That probably was all the paranormal he ever did. Oh, yeah, Patty says, Kathy, not Patty, says the newest Godzilla movie they did done by Americans was horrible. No, I've never been to Graceland. I liked Elvis. I like to sing. Never met him. One of my other big regrets, when I lived in Las Vegas, I never went to see Elvis or all those other people. Well, I don't know that either. I wish you'd stop that. You're committing slander and libel against Art Bell, and I don't want to see it here. Unless I were to talk to Art Bell and interview him and say, okay, what are the allegations? These are the allegations against you. How do you say this, Art? And I don't think Art Bell would spread false information. Remember, he's now a ham radio. I know damn well he was told to Tony's Showdown to stop telling things that shouldn't be told. He got knocked off the air twice after the Area 151 caller. He had an interviewee. He had a guest on, and they got knocked off the air. He got hit his huge radio antenna, like 60 foot or however tall it was, got fried one night and his technicians came out from the network, and this was not Premiere, the previous network, and they said that his feed got hit by a massive EMP pulse. That's before I ever heard what an EMP was. Well, Frank, I think it's time to block you. And yeah, I remember the Madeline Markham still. So it's you're being you're being a troll. You keep saying the same stuff over and over again with no proof, and I'm not going to let it happen, particularly with a radio legend. You got proof? Send me an email privately. I'll investigate it. So I'm not going to tolerate attacking Art Bell in chat with unfounded, unsupported, libelous, and slanderous allegations. Period. I wouldn't let anybody do that to George Norrie either. I used to make fun of George Norrie, but to the best of my knowledge, my personal interaction with George Norrie, he's a man of integrity and honor. I'm not going to let people attack him or Hilly Rose or even the host I don't like on Coast. You don't like the guy, that's fine. But you don't slander him, don't libel him, don't impugn his reputation. And I'm sure I could write George Norrie after the conclusion of this broadcast. I heard this, you know any of this stuff is true. Sometimes George hasn't had contact with Art for a long time, but I'm sure that he knows what's going on. Yeah, Madman Markham was, well, remember, he disappeared. And then Art found him recently, or George did. He turned up again, but his phone was disconnected, his house was empty, they sent people to investigate. His garage or barn where he had a time machine was empty. I think he went back in time and then couldn't find his way back for a long time. You know, with 1,028 subscribers, I should be having 1,028 people in there. But I'm not going to let that happen. Yeah. See, I don't remember stuff all the time. I'm getting old. And there's a lot of... Somebody once said, for every new fact you have in your head, you have to throw out 10 old facts. I think I've thrown out about 1,000 old facts. But Art is one of these people that also comes along once or twice in a lifetime. They're legendary. They're riveting. I've fallen asleep during other podcasts. I never fell asleep during... Very seldom did I fall asleep during Art Bell, because every syllable was... You just... Like you were in the old days in the 30s. You were sitting by your giant radio... console radio in your easy chair in your living room with the light on, or sometimes it was off depending on what you were listening, like Inner Sanctum or Lights Out or Suspense, and you didn't get up to even go to the bathroom. You were like, wow. And you'd sit there the night before where you'd had to talk about chupacabra, UFOs, alien abduction. I didn't like Terrence McKenna and all the talk about peyote and drugs and all that. I think it's, silly. And consciousness raising and all. But you go, who the hell is Art going to have on tonight? And on the days when Art wasn't on for something, you would sick. And there were even things like Art went out and fell off his porch. Art went out and threw rocks at the Jackrabbits. Art was on the air one night and he crazy glued his lips together. Art got attacked by Comet the cat, who he found living under his house, terrified the coyotes would eat him, and Comet slashed his hands open. You didn't hear that on radio. The only other guy that got wild like that was Larry King, who talked about stuff he did as a kid, and his friends Mappo there was a guy who did motivational seminars around the country, and he's famous and he's rich. Art knew him as a child, but Art would come up with wild stuff. Art Bell and his wife in their little Chevy Geo, red Geo, and they're out in the desert coming back from Vegas, and they see a giant triangular UFO. Art Bell getting the Area 51 call. Art Bell getting the guy flying into Area 51. And after the Area 51 call, Art got knocked off the air, and he got knocked off the air 2 days later. There was nothing like Art Bell on radio. And frankly, the first time I heard Art Bell, and my late friend Charlie said this, he said, I didn't listen to this guy at first. First time I heard him say stuff, I said, what the bleep is that? Using the F word. And he started laughing. And then now, every night, I come home from running my store, I make dinner. I don't even go to bed. I'm staying up all night listening to this guy. Art used to do 5 hours. Imagine that. Every night. Until his back started hurting. He didn't have the problem I have of losing my voice. And there were very few bad Art Bell shows. And they would get wild callers. He'd get the vampire line, the time traveler line, the Satan line, the possessed line. You don't get that on Nori. It's not the same. Yeah, in the middle of nowhere, and you had the feeling with Art that it was kind of like a giant X-Files episode that never ended. There was no ending. It was like, you're going, whoa. Anyway, and the other thing, every night when he would say, from the high desert in the great American Southwest, this is Art Bell. And you knew you were going for that ride. And a ride, it was like, people had said it was the e-ticket ride of the paranormal. It was at Disneyland. You didn't want to get off the ride. When Art Bell would be over at night, and there'd be like the 6 o'clock stock report, I go, oh, God, this sucks. I got to wait like till 10 o'clock at night for... The hell was that? That was weird. I think that was Alexa talking. I got to wait till 10 o'clock at night to Art Bell come on again? And then be people fighting. Where can I find old episodes of Art Bell? People were trading that back and forth all over the place. You listen to Art Bell talk from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, before you listen to something new. It was nothing like Art. Now, back in my time, you had Hilly Rose doing shows out of KNEW and out of L.A. You had Ira Blue. You had Long John Neville. You had some local guys doing UFO stuff, but nobody national. And what did you have on late at night? You had guys selling you infomercials and sports shows and politics shows. That's why people miss Art. That's why people were signing up for Sirius. Paying out money, however much I paid for Sirius. To listen to him on Sirius XM. And then Sirius screwed him. And then he did the podcast and he got shot at, supposedly. But everything I've been able to determine, he actually got shot at. And some say it was somebody from the hated side who did it, conspired to drive him off the air. And his family was more important. Sirius spent a lot of money to build him a studio. And he was promised terrestrial radio that he'd be heard all over the world. And then they found they couldn't even be heard down the street. One Friday night, the whole network died. Yeah, well, the reason Art didn't move back to the Philippines, I think one reason. He got a condo and a typhoon hit Manila. I think it scared the hell out of him. That's when he went back to Pahrump. You know, I'm not staying in this building with a typhoon hit. That'd be like having the day after tomorrow hit your apartment building. I'm leaving. You know, if I had the money and a 7.4 hits the Bay Area and this building rocks like American Bandstand, you think I'm going to stay in this building? No, I'm leaving. I'm moving. I'm grabbing the cats and I'm out of here. That's why I want to move to the desert. There's earthquakes. Now, another thing, though. If Ramona had been alive, She would have got there and a gun shot the stalker. She was a feisty lady. She didn't put him in any crap. And I think she was a driving force beyond Art. When Art died, I think it took a long time for him to get over Moroni, if he ever has. And something went out of Art Bell's heart. Yeah. I only saw the first Death Wish, but even a lot of other movies. Dirty Dozen, a lot of other movies. I like Bronson. I saw a lot of movies in the 60s, 50s, 40s movies. A lot of movies I've got in my collection I've never even gotten around to watching yet. A lot of them are bad. But I got a lot of Andy Sedaris movies. Guys are talking about nude wrestling. I got women in bikinis and nudity. Because Moroni used to watch Andy. He used to record them and then run them. He would take another VCR and run them together. So, well, what are you watching, Moroni? He said, oh, I erased the movie except for the naked women part. That was Moroni. And Moroni married a Filipino, by the way. Didn't tell me that. I didn't find out until he had died. So he married a Filipino. So, and he had served in the Philippines when he was in the Navy. So I think another one of these guys that love the Philippines. And I understand they have remade or are remaking Death Wish, and it wasn't very good. Three and a half hours now. We go from Art Bell to Charles Bronson. What's next? I would like to go and get Madman Markham's time machine and stop myself from making my mistakes. Yeah, Bruce Willis. I like Bruce Willis, too. That Die Hard with a Vengeance really sucked. Kathy and I saw it. It was terrible. And the one he did with his son was even worse. We didn't go see that, I think. First Die Hard was great. The second one was okay. The third one, I started telegraphing the moves. I could tell what was going on. That's the problem with a lot of movies. I know... I've watched so many movies and I've read so many film scripts over the years and books that I know what the character's going to say and act before they do it. I get fooled sometimes, but I knew the ending, the NCLS LA last night before it ended. I said, I know what's going to happen at the end, and I was absolutely right. Yeah, I got it finally. It's been driving me crazy. So, and the other thing, I've watched a lot of paranormal movies, a lot of paranormal television shows, a lot of paranormal videos, and read a lot of paranormal books. That's what I do, you know. I just don't know what to talk about because partly I would love to have more ability to actually interact with people live. I would love to be on a panel at a convention or these programs where you have on a PC. I don't know if they do it on a Mac, where you can... Well, I can do it in Google Hangouts, but apparently for some reason Google Hangouts won't work. I would love to have a live Google Hangout show, and I don't know if it records Google Hangouts or not, but I tried to set that up and it says it doesn't work for some reason. Or they don't do it anymore. So I don't know. I would love to have 5 or 6 or 7 people. And we just talk about the paranormal. What are your experiences? What do you think about this? Or I would love to, and I really should write in. How about you let me, but I have to do it with my cordless phone, which sucks. I can't do it on Skype. When I get a new computer, I'll get Skype to work. I'd love to talk about Hoagland and Mars and NASA. Or talk to them. When I go to AlienCon, one thing I want to do is hook up with Dick Pope or Linda Moulton Howe or maybe Giorgio Tsoukalos. I've watched some stuff he did other than Ancient Aliens. And I'd love to talk to them on the air and interview them. don't know if I can because I'm not going to have a Mac with me. Now, if I can get my MacBook to work like my Mac does, I'm going to take my MacBook with me. I'm going to take my iPad with me. If someone were to send me money to get my GoPro, I'll take that with me. They have GoPro 4 brand new there I would like to buy in the pawn shop. But, you know, I only have so much money. I would love a 6. I've watched videos. These guys walk through Las Vegas, along Las Vegas Boulevard. They've got the thing strapped around their necks. They're doing live videos in the damn hotel. And they've now turned parts of the hotel. It says Las Vegas Boulevard, but they're inside. So I would love to do that with the GoPro, but I don't know how yet. But I will pay for T-Mobile if I have the $75 to start it in June, that when I'm at Alien Con, I can be Wi-Fi in the hotel, and if I step outside or I go to a meeting. Now, the only problem with Alien Con, like a lot of these conventions, you're not allowed to film in the meetings, which sucks. But I will be doing videos from Alien Con every day, and if I have live Wi-Fi, you'll see streaming. I don't know if it'll be live until I get to my room, though. That's the thing. I'm not sure. And that's part of the problem when you have a 10-year-old MacBook, too. And someone stealing my other iPad really hurt me because I could be doing stuff there, and I haven't learned how to edit yet and all that stuff. I really wish someone would come into my house, call me up first, contact me and say, we'll teach you how to do inserts. We'll teach you how to do all these effects I see in other videos, clips and everything else that I don't know how to do. But this iPad will have Wi-Fi ability because it's not hooked up to an internet provider now. I can only do Wi-Fi when I'm at a Wi-Fi site. I've talked to T-Mobile. They said $75 a month. This iPad will be able to do the videos anywhere. I don't know if they'll be live streaming or not. The other problem is like Lucky Farrell. She does live stream out of her house, but she's got to pay a lot of money to do that. But she edits stuff, I suspect, on a PC, which I don't know how to do. And people say, oh, you're stupid, you should do it, but everybody does this. Well, everybody does this. Nobody's told me how to do it yet. And no one's ever volunteered. You know, George, you've been doing videos for a long time. We like them. Let's come over to your house. I'll bring some burgers, and we'll show you how to do this in an hour, and I could probably do it. I've had people promise to do that for me, too, and they've never shown up. There's a lot of BS people out there on the internet. They promise something and they never come through with it. If the situation were reversed, and if you, Christopher, want to do videos on hockey, I'll just use that as an example, and I knew how to tell you to do inserts on the Canadians or the Flyers or the Penguins or the Sharks or the Blues, if they're still around, I have no idea, or the Montreal Canadiens, and I'd say, okay, this is how you insert this into your YouTube video. This is how you insert this into your live videos. I would teach you how to do it. We get together, let's have a few drinks, and let's have something to eat, pizza or whatever. Here's how you do it. This is what you do, this is what you do, this is what you do, boom, 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 and you know how to do it. That's the kind of guy I am. Actually, all I need to do is hook up to somebody who's doing this stuff and say, look, if I have the money, I'll pay you. Teach me how to do this, please. I'd give somebody $100 if I had the $100 to spare, which I don't yet. I will eventually. Now, at the end of the year, if I haven't got my GoPro out, I will get my GoPro out. I'm getting a new microphone for the Mac. I'm going to put that on layaway. Get a new microphone to the desk. Before the end of next year, I'll have a newer GoPro with the screen so I can see what the hell I'm shooting. And then work on getting a new Mac, new iPad, and get my car and all that. Buddy. So that's it there. You'll be seeing me do videos out of my room. If I got to sit down with my MacBook, but part of the problem, of course, is seeing. You just start putting pressure on my head after a while. I'll do videos in my room, but there's editing things in iMovie and the iMovie app, my iPad, I don't know how to do, and I wish I could. Well, I don't see anybody else talking but you and me. Let's see who else is in here. I think that's it. I blocked Frank Booth. I blocked the other guy. You and I seem to be it. Tootie seems to have disappeared. I think she went to bed. So I think at 3:39:35, I'm going to end this, Christopher. I'm hungry, I'm tired, I've got to let Fluffy in and a little girl in and give them, and Fuzzy, and give them their dinner. I had a shower, but I would really like to lie down and cook my dinner, and I have to remake my bed because I had to tear it up because Abram had to grind the metal down. I got the piece of metal in the sink. I could send it to Art. Hey, Art, I found an Art's part for you. Or send it to Nori and claim it's an alien part from an UFO. And alien sofa beds. Next on George Nori. Live. Alien sofa bed parts. What's that guy? Oh, yeah. Unseen Alien Files with a deep voice. I don't know if that was John B. Wells or Unseen Alien Files with the secrets of, alien investigation or something like that. Unseen sofa bed files. All right, I'm going to go. I've got to get something to eat, and also my legs and back and feet are starting to lock up on me. After a while sitting here, I got to get another reason I want to move to the complex, not only to just have more room, but these arms of this chair are not adjustable. They press against my legs the whole time I'm sitting in this stupid chair. And the back is not high enough. I'd like to have a chair like one of those lawyer's chairs would sit up and support my back and neck. Then I'd probably fall asleep. Let's see who else is in here. That's not even moving right now. It's another new Mac. This thing keeps acting screwy. Oh, I'm going to do the wrong one. All right, we have 7 guys. And my stomach is growling, which is another reason to end it. I just had growling stomach. So, I wonder what makes your stomach growl. Is it there's nothing in your stomach and the intestines start moving, your stomach starts moving? Why do you get growling stomach when you haven't eaten anything all day? But I am starving. So I'm going to end it here. This is George Senda, the man with the glasses, the man who needs glasses, the man who used to have glasses, the man who can't see his former glasses because he can't see with the lenses in his eye, the bionic man who can't see, the 6 cent man, the guy from Pittsburgh. Have a great night. Stay warm, cool, dry, safe, clean, wherever you are if you can. And Open Lines Jerry. Now, I announced this ahead of time on several videos. You should have come in. So, I'll be back again. Friday, I'm going to the doctor. I'm going at 3 o'clock to San Francisco. That always wears me out. I would like to do one video on Sunday night at 7 because that's when Jack Benny had his show on the air. So I will shoot right now if I'm not too tired for Saturday. I hate the weekends because with no car, I sit here like a lump. Can't go anywhere except to walk around Martinez. And when you've seen downtown Martinez, you've seen downtown Martinez. So I will look at, let's say, barring pouring rain. Today I went out early so that the cats would be fed before the rain. Let's shoot for 7 o'clock Saturday. If I don't do one before then, tomorrow is my food day. I've got to go out and get food. Thursday I try to rest before I have to take that's an all-day trip. If I have to go there at 3, I have to leave here at noon. And I don't get back till 9. And then I just go and collapse in the bed. So it wears me out. When we have a car, it's just as bad. But at least on the way back, Kathy drives me to the doctor. I fall asleep. And I wake up, I go to sleep. Yeah, you were sleeping. Oh, I don't remember falling asleep. So that's what happens in the car with me. She wants me to get my license back so I can take over some of the driving duties. But going to the doctor wears his boat out. She's tired too. It's an all-day trip even if you have a car. It takes you an hour and a half to get over there. You got to find a place to park. You got to wait in the doctor's office. They, ask you the stupid questions. What's your pain level? I tell you what, let me punch you in the nose and you tell me what your pain level is. Okay, let me clunk in the head with a baseball bat. What's your pain level? I hit you with a 44-ounce Louisville Slugger, the black one. And you go, ow! Oh, what's that pain level, please? Drives me crazy. I hate that. All right. Have a great night. I wouldn't hit anybody with a baseball bat except in self-defense, but it's one of the stupidest things they ask you. The dog, what's your pain level? Okay, you just dropped a 50-pound weight on your big toe. What's your pain level? It drives me nuts. Like a lot of other things in life. I should do a video, top 10 things that annoy me. Customer service, your call is important to us, high call volume, and all of that. All right. Bye-bye for now. This is George Senda, the guy from Pittsburgh. Catch you next time.